Hello and welcome to Screen Source episode 44. How are you all doing today?
Good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I kind of lost track of my hand there. It, like, started doing things. Welcome to the thing. I hate awkward arm more than anything in hosting.
And you just did it.
Yeah. It's always an issue.
How are you doing? Nobody ever asks you how you're doing.
You don't, yeah. And I feel it in my heart every
How
time
are you?
somebody asks me. I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
I'm a little tired. We're all a little tired.
Okay, that's
yeah.
No more talking to
It's the weather too. It's like it's hailing outside or raining, and it's like very
and it's kind of
soothing.
cozy in here.
We love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We live in the desert, so we love the rain.
Right.
Yeah.
During the winter, we're all just gonna like have these big giant blankets and like hot cocoa in front of us.
Yes.
That's how we
wonderful.
should do Screen Source from
Yep.
now on.
Every time.
Cozy.
Campfire.
Sure.
We have some wonderful producers over there. Thank you guys for getting things going.
Woohoo.
There's Alex and Hector. They're also making sure that I'm not blowing out my mic because that was a problem a little
Because your
earlier.
voice is so loud.
My voice
John.
does boom. It is the
Boom.
exact opposite of Lexi's. I've come to
No.
realize.
Sorry.
No. Mine.
She has a very soothing voice.
No,
There you go.
I'm obnoxious. I'm the villain here, so don't
Oh,
worry about
no.
it. Yes. Anyways, what are we doing here today? This is a film and television news reviews and trailer
Yeah.
show. We're going to
Woohoo.
start off by watching a trailer to. Well, I think it's just refreshing up there. So yeah, you want to give it a second. What was I getting at here? Oh, so we're going to start everything off by watching the trailer for Slaughterhouse Rulez, but then afterwards we're going to talk about some news. What's some news topics we're doing today?
We got some news coming from the DC movie and television.
Gotcha.
Also some Oscar news.
Yeah,
And, yeah.
What else we got? What's
Is it
what's your topic over there?
Money stuff in the movie world.
Yes.
Okay.
And theater ticket prices.
Yes.
Exciting things.
Movie pass.
Movie
Yeah,
pass.
kind of
Right
centered
on.
around. There's a
They're
lot
gonna
of
make
stuff.
it harder, guys.
A lot of stuff
As
going on.
usual.
Putting obstacles up.
Yeah. How are you feeling over there, Hector? You're giving me weird looks.
Everyone's a little loud.
We're all a little
Oh, yeah?
loud. Okay. Okay. I would do it on XSplit. I would just bring it down a little bit.
I'll just whisper.
Yeah.
If I whisper, does it sound?
It can.
Do I sound
This is
sexy?
not ASMR.
I'll stay the same.
Screen Source. We should do a special edition of Screen Source with all ASMR. Sweet. Better? Yeah, kind of. Okay, cool.
Alright.
Yeah, you'll keep an eye on it. You guys let us know too. We're live here.
Yeah.
And let's get this started. Slaughterhouse Rulez official trailer number 1.
There's something in the woods.
Did you get my note about the no-go areas?
I cannot have people wandering about in the middle of the night.
These things always end up in a bloody mess.
Welcome all to Slaughterhouse.
This is the school pecking order. At the top, we have the bat. In the middle, Clemsy Lawrence.
Watch where you're looking.
And then
Oh
down
my
at the
god,
bottom,
this is a Harry Potter parody.
That's Woody.
I'm afraid Mr. Prigg will be unable to teach today or ever again. He died here. Alone. Anyway,
There's something in the woods.
What the devil?
Of course.
It's a gateway.
Of
It
course
leads
he's in there.
straight down
Snake Frog.
to hell.
now, who wants to buy some drugs? They just ate half the upper sink.
Now we can blow shit up.
Language wouldn't. Children, save yourselves! To the schooner!
Hooray! All right, I'm going as fast as I can.
Where did he go?
Seatbelts, everyone.
Stop worrying. What they're gonna do? Eat you alive.
Delicious.
All right.
Yes.
There we go. Slaughterhouse Rulez. That comes out October 31st.
Oh my god.
Still a couple months away. Yeah, on Halloween Day.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's fun.
literally a Harry Potter parody.
I think.
Yeah, I thought they looked like Hufflepuff colors.
The colors,
Yeah,
Well,
but
I know the kid. His name's Finn. Something. I gotta look it up now.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks familiar.
He's been in. Is it? I think it's Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
Oh.
And then he's also in the
Oh,
TV show.
yeah.
I think Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
He's let's see, Finn Cole. Yeah.
Finn Cole.
Yeah, he's really cool.
yeah.
He's kind of up and coming. He's a young guy.
Oh, Asa Butterfield is in this too.
Yeah, he's the other. So actually, he was kind of telling me about this. Crispin Mills is Haley Mills' son.
Okay.
Oh.
And he's a director, and he's in a big band. And I don't remember if this was. I think this might be based on a TV show,
Okay.
like a Brit show that this is like the movie version. I think, but
I
I'm not.
thought you were gonna say a true story.
100%.
A true story.
I
Based
know,
on a
right?
true story.
I'm listening now.
Here's the quick plot. A sinkhole appears at a fracking site in woods near to an esteemed but tough British boarding school, causing the pupils and teachers alike to fight for their survival against what is released.
Nice.
That's
That's such a Simon Pegg plot.
Yep.
That's such a Simon Pegg Nick Frost movie.
That was the big draw. Was Simon Pegg and Nick
Frost.
They were
Always.
kind of running the show.
They're not writers though. Unlike a lot of other films that they're in, it is also written by Crispin Mills.
Yeah.
And Henry Fitzberg. And it is who also it was always
believe
part of
they
that trio. Who does
produce-
the
Edgar
Cornello?
Wright.
Yeah, Edgar Wright is not.
Oh.
No,
doesn't
not
seem to be
yeah.
part of
It's
this either.
them too. I
Yeah.
think they're producing it.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my God, there's a actress named Hermione in this.
Right?
That
I think
is
you
even
have
better.
to click on that now.
That's even
Right.
better.
Who's Hermione Corfield? She's in this. We know
Find
that.
out.
She was in Mission Impossible:
She's
Rogue
very
Nation,
young.
Triple X: Return of Xander Cage.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
Who didn't watch that?
And she was
also
She's
in
in
Last
Return
Jedi.
or Last Jedi. Return
Yeah.
of the Jedi.
And
She's
Pride and
old.
Prejudice and Zombies, which I didn't see. It looked bad.
Yeah.
It looks
The only
bad.
one that matters is Triple X: Return of Xander Cage.
Right.
I actually
That's
had
it.
a birthday party one year when the first Triple X came out. And we watched that
boy.
for my birthday.
Nice.
We went to the
You would.
theater.
Wow.
Um,
That's
Yeah.
some love right there.
That's some love. Yeah, that's right. All my friends that put up with me. Actually, it may have been Pitch. Which was the one you did? Pitch Black.
Oh right, Pitch Black.
Pitch
Yeah.
Black. I
You
can't
did Pitch
remember.
Black?
I was
Maybe.
like, the first Triple X wasn't
I
bad.
don't remember.
Yeah,
It was fun.
I
It was
remember
what
liking it, but I was also
what
12.
it is. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I didn't
right,
even
yeah.
hear of it until this one. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It's-
Don't be sorry. It's
yeah.
not that good.
Yeah.
It really didn't
Whatever.
look good.
Cooler
It's
for
like
that.
just
It
whatever.
didn't look good.
Anyways, what do you guys feel about Slaughterhouse?
It looks funny.
Yeah.
Looks good. Looks like
Good.
Simon Pegg. I always watch his stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty
Rule
much.
of thumb.
I did
So,
realize though that I missed the Last of the Cornetto, the World's
yeah,
End.
the World's End. You haven't seen that one?
And I've not, and I
It's
didn't watch
good.
Paul
It's good.
either.
Paul
Paul's
was good.
Yeah,
Paul was a little
Paul's
different.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah.
This reminded me a lot
It was
of the
good.
second of the Cornetto, the police one.
Yes.
Hot Fuzz.
Hot
Hot
Fuzz.
Fuzz.
It reminded
I
me
love Hot
most of
Fuzz.
that.
I
Yeah.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
With the weird, wacky characters that are.
And the really
Yeah.
quick cuts, which they like
Sure.
to do.
the
you
like
know?
jump scare monsters.
Sure,
yeah,
that
I see
too.
it.
I
Yeah.
love how like all the characters look like the characters
From Harry Potter. Even like the promo.
Right.
Even
Yeah.
that kid with the bleach blonde hair looks like Malfoy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so
as
funny.
soon as you said that, I was like, oh, duh.
I'm like, oh
okay.
God, that's Malfoy. It's
Now, if you
freaking
guys
Malfoy.
haven't seen Michael Sheen in Masters of Sex, it is his greatest feat.
Oh my God,
It
he's
is
so
a
good.
Showtime television show that got canceled after 4 seasons, I believe. It's basically Mad Men, but instead of advertising, it's about the beginning of science, a scientific look at sex. It is
okay.
very,
Like
very good.
Human
Interesting.
sexuality research.
Yes,
Right.
yes, yes.
I like this.
Super
Like Kinsey,
interesting.
but-
Yeah, like
Very interesting.
sort of like Kinsey, but like it came after Kinsey, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
on. Cool.
Cool.
Where do you watch it on?
Oh,
Showtime,
but
anytime.
I don't know if it like it might
have that.
Might
it
be on
might
Hulu
it might
or-
be on Hulu or
right.
Amazon
They
Prime
do
I
that.
do have
now.
that. Okay.
You
should
I
check.
definitely need
It's
to
just
watch
that Showtime
that.
and HBO are bad at like making their stuff available for those.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
Don't
it's
even
been-
tell me
it's
about
been,
HBO.
Over for a long time, so I have a feeling it could be like on one of those
Okay, cool.
networks. Yeah.
Sweet.
My list grows longer of what to watch.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
doesn't
I'm
it
never
always?
gonna
It's
actually
never
watch
ending.
everything. It's
Oh.
never
Well,
gonna
yeah.
happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
All right,
never-
cool. Let's move on to our news segment. Who's going first? I think that is you, Mr. Stan.
Yeah.
Sweet. So what's going on?
We got.
Oh no, Oscars. That's Jess. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
Jess.
I can
Yeah.
I can start.
I was like, yeah.
So basically, there are going to be some changes to the Oscars that are, according to Nerdist, bad for filmmakers and movie lovers. And I kind of tend to agree. It's just
it's a biased it's an opinion piece that Nerdist did,
right?
But it does include of like what's going on with the Oscars,
changing.
what's changing. So
there are some big changes happening. As you know, the Oscars are typically pretty long. They're like a 4 to 4.5 hour show, and so they're gonna they're going to cut it down to exactly 3 hours now, which, you know, if you're watching the Oscars, I think you're in it for the 4 or 4.5 hours. Like, you're okay with it. You know, like if you're sitting down and watching the Oscars, I think you're good with the amount of time.
How long is the Super Bowl? I mean, like hour-wise,
Sure.
right? I
Yeah.
mean,
It's
if
probably the
people
same.
yeah, right. It's the same amount of
and
time.
it is it's the Super Bowl for film.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And the other thing is they're gonna select categories are gonna be presented in the theater of where the Oscars is during commercial breaks, and they will be edited and aired later in the broadcast, which could be bad, because what Nerdist is saying in particular about this is that there's going to be, you know, this is like a defining moment of a lot of actors' lives and careers,
and filmmakers,
to be recognized for this, and to like be recognized at the Oscars is like, you know, it makes or breaks your career. And so they're gonna be, you know, picking and choosing which categories are going to be presented, and then, you know, editing and airing the ones that they decided not to shoot during live, but during the commercial breaks. So, you know, how do we know who's going to get airtime and who's not? That's not really fair, and it's not cool.
And they've already done that too, in that they move. Some of the awards have already moved to basically an off-site. It's not filmed.
The technical stuff.
And it's like, that's not any less important, you know, but it's just because the way our society deems things, they are at the bottom of the ladder.
Now, there's
you know
also
what I mean?
a new category, Jess?
Yeah. The new category is for outstanding achievement in popular film. And this is
so
shitty because what it's going to do is what they're trying to do is they're trying to get viewers who don't normally watch the Oscars for many reasons, but one of the reasons being that they don't see Oscar films. They, you know, so they're going to add this category of popular films, and it's basically to get viewers. And it's, you know, one of the points that was made in the article that's a really good point is that not all popular movies are good movies, just like not all like Oscar bait movies are good movies. So it's like, you know, you really shouldn't just try to get viewers by having this category. I feel like it's a little bit like they could have a better category.
No, this is ABC, right?
Yeah,
they're the ones pushing this. Apparently, it's the network. I don't know that it's actually the Oscars. And you know, I've heard some counter arguments to this since I've been reading about it. One of which is, hey, if we get more, lightning, jeez,
and
very
thunder,
close,
really loud.
Yeah, thunder's what I'm hearing, not lightning. Anyways, what people are arguing is that, hey, this will allow more things that like Marvel movies to show up on
and
those
like
things,
Star Wars
and things like that. But the article that Nerdist did was their argument against that argument would be, hey, if those films are that good, if then there's a problem with our voting system that they never end up on there. For instance, The Dark Knight never ended up even being nominated, right? And
well, the only thing that was nominated was Heath Ledger, but posthumously. And so, you know, it wasn't a Best Picture nomination, which it should have been.
Which is really weird.
Phenomenal movie.
Right. So there's I think there's a clear problem. Honestly, I don't understand why.
I think so
some of those films don't end up on there. And it's largely because if it's not drama, then we don't care about it as voters.
Right, but that's ridiculous in itself.
The idea that you know, genre movies get snubbed,
especially a superhero movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, even
don't take it serious.
Going back, you know, like. What was was it Silence of the Lambs? They were making a big deal out of that because that was the one sort of genre movie that kind of broke the lines, and
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was a great
was
movie.
good.
Yeah, it was a good movie on its own, but I mean that was like a big deal for like horror fans. And, like,
Right.
Gotcha, yeah,
right.
yeah.
kind of legitimize it a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of like how we were talking.
Look at
about that Get
A24, Hereditary, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm getting no from my producer. But come on.
I mean, and what about like all the great superhero movies we've had this year? We've had Black Panther.
Oh my
I mean, that
gosh.
should win just for like costumes and set design alone. And then we've got Thor Ragnarok and
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was
Infinity
really
War.
good.
But
Right,
still,
right.
like
Yeah.
these are things that like these are films that should be recognized. They're like
Definitely.
huge, gigantic, epic films, and they should be.
Well,
they should be
you're going to
recognized.
get that in this new pop film.
That kind
Yeah.
of sucks though, because that's all condensed into one little
Yeah.
tiny
Right.
thing that.
And
that
it's going to be
sucks.
crappy movies.
It's going
because
to be
it's going to be what sells tickets.
Yeah,
Popular
the Emoji
at the
Movie.
time that they've already made their
Yeah.
choices for the Oscars. They've
Yeah.
already made their picks, and they're like, "Oh, well, this is popular. Let's."
If I don't see the Meg at the
Let's-
Oscars, then I'm
Well,
not watching.
God,
I'm gonna
right?
lose
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
It's just
Exactly.
going to
I'm
be
done.
bad, guys. It's going to be like shitty movies, like.
And it also
you know, the
takes
Emoji
time
Movie.
away from the other things that they're snubbing, right? They're like
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
a
Exactly.
commercial, whatever they could have done.
Yep.
Talking
Yeah, you know what I mean?
about-
Like
trying to
this
save
article is
time.
saying, like, what about having a best stunt or choreography award, or having a best ensemble category? Ensemble
Right.
category,
that'd be
that would
amazing.
be
That would be oof.
legitimately great. I think that they should definitely instead have a best ensemble category.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a good
That'd be
idea.
really
So
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, that's Oscar news. Shame on you, I guess. You know, I'm sure there's gonna be different opinions.
We'll see what happens. I don't think it's
Yeah.
going to stick. Whatever ends up changing, I don't think it's going to stick, because I just think people who already watch the Oscars and love the Oscars for what it is are going to be frustrated.
Yeah.
You know.
If there's money involved, I mean, they're just trying to hit their bottom line. Is really
Yeah.
all it is.
Right,
They're
right. They're trying to get more viewers, and I think that they maybe are having a hard time because they're so kind of like in one box. They need to like think outside the box a little bit more,
Yeah,
but in a different way than this.
yeah.
I think they need to revise their nomination system, not their format for
Sure.
TV.
Sure.
I think that's why they
Definitely.
lost all the
Yeah.
viewers. They're like, why bother watching this
Yeah.
one? This amazing film is being snubbed because it's
Yep.
a blah.
That's
Yep.
the
film.
Yeah.
crux of the whole article, right
And like,
there.
why? Like, this is dumb. And I don't watch the Oscars. Truth be told, I'll tune in for maybe 20 minutes and be like, "Oh, cool! I like that costume design, neat." But like, it is somebody's Super Bowl. I don't watch the Super Bowl either. But
Yeah,
like,
there you
it's somebody's important thing,
I
and
go
that's
to
kind of
Super Bowl
crappy.
parties. I don't
Yeah.
watch the Super
Yeah, I eat the free food, I drink
Yeah.
the free beer, and I watch
Right.
the commercials.
Right.
Stan, what else is going on in the news?
All right, we got some news from the DC. We got some movie news here. DC and Warner Brothers have tapped Oren Uziel to pen the script for a Supergirl big screen movie.
Cool.
Oren Uziel, or Uziel, he was one of the writers on 22 Jump Street and the Cloverfield Paradox.
Oh,
And yeah, so they're looking to make a standalone movie. Superman's older cousin, Kara Zor-El, and this isn't the first incarnation. It's actually, there was a Supergirl movie in 1984. Faye Dunaway
Oh.
Pharaoh, and there's also the CW TV show, which apparently it's going into its fourth season. Which I guess they're gonna be separate entities. It's not a continuation of the TV show. It's going to be its own movie. No casting news as of yet. I mean, I guess they're getting the writer together right now.
I thought it was going to be the same actor.
No,
kinda
no.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, maybe right now, like all they have is the writer.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
we'll get some more news on that.
We know what's
hopefully.
happening.
okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't have any. They don't say specifically there's a tie-in or anything into that matter. So
Okay.
I mean, we've
Well,
been
we-
burned by DC before. However, their best movie is a movie with a female lead, so
And
maybe
it
this will be good.
Seems like they're doubling down on that very concept because we got Supergirl coming out. They're already in talks for a Harley Quinn standalone movie,
Oh, very cool.
and there's still talk of Birds of Prey and Gotham City Sirens. So I mean, like I said, there's
Sirens would be
they're-
better than
right. Yeah, I think so too. But I
Harley
mean, like I
Quinn.
said, they're doubling down on the women's, which I think is very cool.
Yeah, I agree.
the women's.
the women's.
And then yeah, for sure. And
Do
then
it.
next, so then we go to TV news. The CW has tapped Ruby
Heck,
Rose
let's do some camera
from
cuts.
Orange is the New Black,
Camera
and
cuts.
actually she's also starring in The Meg,
Camera switches.
coming out very soon tomorrow. Yeah, so she's gonna be she's set to play Batwoman, and we've already kind of talked about this, but this is the latest in the comics, the latest incarnation of Batwoman. Her name's Kate Kane. And she's armed with a passion for social justice and a flair for speaking her mind.
Nice.
And most notably, Kate Kane is a lesbian in the comics, and so they
like it.
they tapped Ruby Rose. The idea when they were coming up with this concept was they wanted to find an out actress, you know, to portray, and Ruby Rose fit the bill.
And she's
the it girl.
Very much.
She's
indeed so
what?
right
What
now.
is the? She's not cisgender. She is
Gender fluid.
gender fluid.
Right.
And I just have such a crush on her. She's so beautiful.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
And is she an open lesbian? Did I make that up?
I
Yes,
believe
this
she's
was out,
bisexual.
yeah, or yeah,
She's
that just
bisexual and
out
gender
is
fluid.
out is what is what they
The article saying.
is what the article says.
Gotcha,
yes.
gotcha.
And well, so they're bringing Batwoman to the small screen. Their DC does an annual crossover with their TV show, so they're going to bring her in for I believe it's so if she plays, if Batgirl plays, they're going to look to develop her own TV show.
Gotcha.
It'll be Carol Dries. She was a showrunner on not showrunner. She was a producer on Smallville and The Vampire Diaries.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like a good person for this.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then everything that they're trying to do is they're kind of keeping all that in line. So we'll see. Maybe maybe we'll get a
Yeah, it's kind of iffy about whether or not these are actually going to be good.
DC gets you a lot.
Yeah, I have my
They get
doubts,
you.
but we'll see. We'll see.
They've had everything in place before and kind of dropped
Yeah.
the ball. So
Yeah.
They had Jason Momoa at one point, and they dropped a lot of balls on that one. I'm still pretty bugged.
that's gonna be the new.
Yeah, you talking about Aquaman?
No. Sorry, I'm talking about not Civil War, the not good one. I'm drawing a blank.
Are you talking about
Justice
Marvel?
League?
Yes.
Oh,
Thank
right,
you,
right,
Justice League.
Yeah,
Right,
gotcha.
right,
I see what
right,
you're saying.
I was
that
so
his
mad.
first.
I think I just
Right.
had these expectations, and I was so hyped, and then when I saw it, I was kind of like,
Hopefully, Aquaman is better than Justice League.
oh, I don't want
I
to
think
get my hopes up.
It's got a better director.
It's probably going to be
It's got a
bad,
better
but
I
director.
just
you know
love
what? It's
Jason
fine.
Momoa so much, I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm just going to watch it because of him.
Yeah.
I wish DC would just partner with Netflix, because when Netflix. Oh right.
What does it say on top of the XSplit? On top on XSplit right there, like up there. Says that. Okay, it could just be that. Yeah, is just not showing up. That's okay.
Oh,
Blame the
we
weather.
had some
Blame the
technical-
weather.
I know, guys.
Oh,
Sorry
it's
if we're
weather.
having technical difficulties.
We're not sure if we're live.
Yeah.
We think we are, but we may not be. Cool. Well, I think we can move on to the next
Sure.
topic.
Yeah.
And that is
Movie
you, is that right?
Pass.
Yes. So
Yes.
give us some information. What's going on?
So, Movie Pass. I never have heard of this. I kind of wish I had before they raised prices.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, they
well,
haven't
this is
technically-
awesome.
they have not raised prices.
They're planning to. So that's the whole story. So Movie Pass is this program. I don't have my phone on me, but AMC.
No.
Not AMC, the
Nope.
competitor.
They're completely their own
They're
company.
Their own company.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sorry, my phone died.
No, but you
I'm
mentioned
going off
AMC because
memory.
they are releasing their
Yeah.
own or have
They're
released
like
their own.
competitor
I
right
don't know
now.
if they have or not.
We've talked about it here before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to start that, but AMC hasn't started it yet. But whatever company this is used to do Movie Pass, and it was $9.95 a month. You could basically see a movie a day for that price, which is amazing.
Right.
Like, I need to sign up for that. But apparently they're not doing well financially. They had to do a $5 million emergency loan just to be okay and not go under.
Right.
So they're raising prices to try and stay afloat, and their idea is to kind of get smaller smaller film companies to go with them and partner with them and start like these package deals, kind of like how Hulu packages with, I don't know, Amazon type of situation.
Okay.
But they're not there yet, so they're trying to get there, and in the meantime they're raising prices. They're thinking of doing $14.95. That was originally their plan.
Okay.
And they're changing it now, so it's still gonna be $9.95, but you can only see 3 movies a month.
Right.
Which
To me, it's still worth
it's still
it.
good because you're paying what, like $10 a ticket normally.
Yeah. So it's like
gonna bring it back a little
$30 for the price of 10.
That's
worth
true.
it.
That's not bad. I mean, when you hear
Yeah.
that you could have seen a movie a day,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah,
kind
right.
of but it's
Yeah.
not. It's
See
still
why they
okay.
lost money on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they apparently they paid full price for the tickets.
Yeah.
And then turned around and did that for their customers. So that's kind of cool. That's
Yeah.
that's
Right.
an I could see why they're changing their model. So it's not as good as it once was, but it's still better than what prices are.
Sure.
Yep.
So
And
yeah,
then on
they
top of
were
that-
going to do $15.
Yeah.
They switched their mind. They changed their minds. It's still staying at $9.99, but now it's only $3.
It's
a month.
limited. It's okay if you like to go to the movies, but you're on a budget. Like I
Well,
think I might sign up for it. It sounds
You
cool.
probably
Still
should
sounds
honestly
nice.
before they keep changing things like this.
Before they
Yeah, that's true.
And
Get
like you can sign up for like
grandfathered in.
a year, and you stay
Oh,
with that.
nice. I
But
should sign up for the unlimited
I
before
know,
they
right?
change it because they're changing it. They're thinking of September.
I don't know if you'll be grandfathered in with the
Yeah, I think
unlimited.
you.
stuff.
I
Damn
think
it.
if you sign up now, it'll
It's
be
too
the old
late.
one. Yeah.
Damn
if
it.
you already had it.
That's such an awesome deal.
And
Yeah, it is.
apparently, though, this only they like have statistics that they've given out, and that it only affects 20% of their
Yeah.
viewers because most people don't watch more. They're saying only 20% of the Movie Pass holders watch
more than
three.
Right.
I think
And
like something like
we
80%
really
don't really care.
It's not
Yeah.
going to make a difference.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
We really, I think on average, we watch about 3 a month, if that. Like
Maybe.
maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think
That's
this
true.
will be fine.
Maybe it's like
you know?
cool in theory, but in practice, it's a little crazy.
Yeah.
A movie a day is a little crazy,
Right. A movie
unless
a
you're
day
Stephen
is- I mean,
Blacksmith.
yeah. Yeah.
What else is going on with Movie Pass?
So yeah, that they're changing that a little bit. We'll see how that goes. And then Movie Pass wants to get Bruce Willis to star in their newest movie that they are producing.
Oh, cool.
I forgot what it was called. It didn't catch my attention a whole lot. Sorry about that. I was more interested in that price break.
Yeah.
yeah,
I know.
yeah. That's okay.
but yeah.
There was a little like tiny synopsis on it that I can grab.
It was
right
a really
now.
brief little thing, but Bruce Willis is in it.
Yeah, and people
other
are like
famous
kind of
people.
mad because they're like, wait, you can't afford to like keep us afloat, but you can afford to get Bruce Willis and produce your own movie and all this
What's
stuff.
that about?
So it's called 10 Minutes Gone.
There we go.
Apparently they also bought stakes in Gotti, which didn't do well at all. I
Oh,
think it had
wow.
like a 0%.
Yeah, I
or
was gonna
something
say,
Rotten
man,
Tomatoes.
that one tanked.
And in a movie called The Row. And they helped distribute American Animals, which our producer was very happy about. He really liked that film.
Oh, okay.
Never seen it.
Willis's frequent collaborator Brian A. Miller will direct. It is, quote, about a man who loses 10 minutes of his memory due to being hit by a stray bullet during a bank heist gone wrong, end quote. So, that's what they are going to help produce, I guess.
Oh,
It
okay.
sounds
It
like.
sounds like interesting,
Alright.
but it sounds very Bruce Willis.
It does sound
Very.
like Bruce Willis.
I get why they picked Bruce Willis because this
Yep.
is a Bruce Willis movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Like it sounds cool.
Yeah.
I'd watch it if
sounds
it was
fun.
on Netflix.
Sure, sure.
Yeah,
Sorry,
sure.
Movie Pass. I'd watch it if it was on
Well,
Netflix.
you know, I think Netflix is a better deal.
Movie Pass
It-
is the Netflix of theater.
Yeah,
right?
to be fair, because going to the movies is pricey, but
Yeah.
I like to sit at home 90% of the time. So
And
I guess
it's
I
so
get
much more
Movie
comfortable.
Passes theory.
Yeah.
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 I get why they're moving their pricing.
Yeah.
So everybody does Netflix.
Right. Yeah, Netflix does it all the
Sorry, Movie Pass again. You're trying.
time. They used to be like $30-$40 a month before
Oof.
this huge change.
Wow.
And some people would buy into it. I knew people that had that. But since that $10 change, it's just been like everybody I know is getting it.
Yeah.
It's a good deal.
That is
It's a very good
a
deal.
good deal.
Yeah.
But you often have to wait months and months to receive it. So just be prepared for that.
That's
yeah,
weird.
We're lucky we got it first week.
Yeah.
Do they mail you a special little card?
Little
Yes,
card, yep.
It looks
Cute.
just like that. It's kind of like a credit
This
card.
is
MasterCard.
2018 though. You could just print it off, get an app. What are they
I
This
doing?
know,
is because
right?
they're so
And what are they
inundated and they
doing?
don't have enough staff.
True. I forget
think it's run
they
by,
need
like,
a
5
$50 million
people.
loan. I don't
Yeah.
think they have an
Right.
app developer. They have a
Right.
guy at a little machine like printing out cards on like a plastic printer.
Exactly.
Right.
I think that's the thing.
All right, let's move on to our next news topic. It is coming soon now with Post Tomatoes, which always comes before.
Pre-tomatoes.
That's okay, you'll get it,
Tomatoes.
Alexia. So every week we look at the newest film or television, things that are worth talking about, some not so much.
Wow.
And we assign what we think the Rotten Tomato scores are going to be. Now, In last week's case, the things that came out was The Spy Who Dumped Me, Christopher Robin, and The Darkest Minds. So, all right.
We were aiming low, too.
We were aiming low.
Yeah.
So The Spy Who Dumped Me, we thought was going to be a 72%. Ended up being a 40. Did anybody watch any of these, by the way?
No.
Okay, producer watched. What'd you
I
watch?
wanted to see Christopher Robin.
You watched both. What do you think they deserve these scores? So Christopher.
Yeah.
40. I would have
done a little higher on Christopher Robin.
Okay. Okay. So you like?
I read your review.
Oh.
Did you like his review?
I did. I'm not going to see the movie, but his review helped.
I want to watch it. I bet I'd cry.
Check out his blog. What's our producer's blog? Sandia Film Journal.
Sandia Film Journal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very
Very cool. Very cool. Anyways, Spy Who Dumped Me, we thought it was going to be 72. Ended up being 40.
Ooh,
we
bad.
were aimed way too high.
Wow.
I think because
Bad.
we assumed critics like, what's her name?
Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon, yeah.
We like
yeah.
You assumed it'd be good.
Yeah,
And it wasn't.
Yeah,
Sure,
or like
sure.
okay at
Yes.
least.
And again, like I said, I keep getting like lowballed by like critical scores.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
Christopher Robin, we thought was going to get an 80%, ended up at a 70.
Nice.
We weren't too far off. I think 70 is a
wasn't
watchable
bad.
score.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
very
that's-
watchable.
yeah.
I
Sometimes
would
they're
go see it.
harsh.
Sure.
I'll see
Yeah.
it.
And The Darkest Minds, we thought was going to be a 78. And holy shit,
Wow.
we got an 18. I
Wow,
was
we
ready-
were
really didn't look
70%
good, though.
off.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I was reading article titles, and it was just saying they were harsh, man. AV Club's title was so harsh. It was like, what is this X-Men crap knockoff? Like, they
That's
just
really the
hated
vibe
this.
I got.
Very
Hated this
same.
film.
I thought it was that cool New Mutants film, and then I was like, this looks like it came from the dollar store. But from film.
I will say the
Right.
trailer duped me. I thought the trailer didn't look
I
too
thought
bad.
it looked pretty good, and I'm like really disappointed that it did so poorly. But whatever, I'm not going to watch it now.
It looked pretty, but the
I
plot
mean,
looked.
you know,
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, that's what I got was an X-Men ripoff. But I was like, okay, maybe it's a good one. Maybe.
Sure.
Right.
I guess.
And to be
so.
fair, Rotten Tomatoes is an aggregator, so all these critics, they add all their scores together and then pump out a number. You might feel different about it, but
True.
you know, when
True.
all the biggest critics are thinking it's 18.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It
probably
didn't look
not
good.
worth your time.
I saw
yeah,
the preview. It didn't look good.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rotten Tomatoes.
Although
you're
I
right.
will be able to justify the Golden Compass. Give me an hour.
Ooh.
I have
I
no
mean,
clue
I
what the
think
score
there
is.
are like some movies that I really love that have really low scores. on
Yeah,
Rotten
Sure.
Tomatoes.
Megamind.
That's everybody,
Megamind was so low on Rotten Tomatoes, and I love
is
that
it?
movie. Megamind.
Manga Mind.
Megamind. It's a kids
Megamind.
movie.
Mega?
It's
Okay.
with who's in it?
I
Tina
vaguely
Fey.
remember that one.
The blue-headed
Is it
bad
Will
guy,
Ferrell?
Will
yes,
Ferrell.
yes. You had a good time.
I loved it. I love
Yeah.
that movie.
I wouldn't have thought.
I had a
hey,
great time.
What's Lexi's favorite movie? Megamind.
It's not my favorite, but like if you put it on and I'm chilling,
mean,
I'm like,
like-
all right, I'll watch it.
Okay.
Here's
Yeah.
my thing. Like, I'm gonna look up two movies that are like my favorite movies, and if they have bad Rotten Tomato scores, I'm gonna be pissed.
A little more open-minded.
The Goonies, 70%. Fuck you, Rotten Tomatoes.
That's just rude.
That's my favorite movie.
I'm like,
And then Clueless, Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, Clueless.
I
the
didn't think
epitome
that'd
of
be your
film.
favorite.
81%.
I'm
81%. I like
actually.
you a little more, Rotten
It
Tomatoes.
does
that's
But
upset me
good.
that
I'm
Clueless
surprised in
got
your
a higher
choices.
score
What's
than the
Nacho
Goonies. Is
Libre?
anybody with me on that?
That's one of
I
my
love
favorites.
Clueless, though,
Yeah.
so
Clueless is a good
I can't-
movie.
I can't.
Yeah.
It's good.
I think it might
thank
be our
you,
introduction.
Stan, for being a guy that's
like
brave
it.
enough to say.
No, it's
You
a
know,
good movie.
yeah.
Thank
It's not
you.
a gendered
Thank
movie.
you.
It was like the world's introduction to like Donald Faison.
It's the world's
Right.
introduction to this.
Whatever.
Valley Girl.
Paul
So-
Rudd too, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd's first intro.
He was so young, and I mean, he's still
Right.
so
Baby Paul
beautiful, but he was very beautiful.
It was
He's
spicy
a
young.
fine wine.
Nacho
Balls.
Libre got a 40%. Just so you know.
That's rude.
Wow.
So you just can't always trust what the critics
That's a
say.
treasure.
That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean,
Good.
yeah,
Are,
take,
are
take it
you,
for
guys-
yourself.
are you guys gonna see any of these? I'm probably not.
I might see
Christopher
Christopher Robin.
Robin
when it drops on Netflix,
I'm
as usual.
yeah, Netflix. Christopher. I don't have that.
The other two, heck
I don't
no.
have the. I don't have the nostalgia factor for the Winnie the Pooh. I mean,
Oh, I do.
It was
Yeah.
interesting. Like,
If I was
I would Netflix.
if it was
I don't know that I
raining and I
could.
was home alone, and
Yeah.
I'd
Sure.
want to cry.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
yeah.
make a cup of tea and
For sure. Oh my god,
Smoke
a cup
a little,
of tea.
cry.
Oh, shit.
drag my dog
oh
in
my
there.
god. god. Okay,
Nice.
yeah.
So, anyways, yeah,
We pull up with my
clearly
teddy bear.
plan.
we are punching too high. You know, we got to start lowering our
It was
standards.
slow. It was slow. This wasn't much coming out of it.
And also, to be
Yeah.
fair, these are based off trailers, and so trailers,
Right,
Right. They can
Yeah.
be deceiving.
Overpromise.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of, let's talk about the upcoming films coming soon now with pre-tomatoes, which always comes after.
Post tomatoes.
You snuck that in.
It
So-
sounded like you knew what you're talking about,
Right.
so that's all that matters.
I got tomatoes.
So here's some films that are coming out next week. We have Slender Man.
Oh.
And I don't know if that's German afterward. It's German. Whatever. Something else is there.
Das Slenderman.
Das Slenderman. Slenderman.
The Slenderman.
Slenderman.
We have The
Slenderman.
Meg, the new Jason Statham film,
Meg.
which early reviews coming in saying it's basically a Statham film.
Nice.
Okay,
we're getting
so
a
it's
thumbs
got
up from our
action-packed
producer.
fun.
Nice.
Did you take
With
Did you give it a
sharks.
watch?
Yeah, I saw it on Monday.
Yeah, what'd you give it?
And
What was your score?
B.
You give it a B.
There we go.
Yay.
How about?
Fuck.
Did you see Slenderman?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Slenderman.
I'm gonna
That's-
check these other two out tomorrow.
That's the one. That's the one I'm kind of curious.
Was it
about.
just about a big ass shark? Was that?
The
Yeah.
Meg,
Basically.
basically. And
Okay.
some like
Our producer's a
octopus
simple
and
man.
like
Technically,
squid.
that's
I'm
what
not
Jaws is
judging.
about.
I'm
Yeah.
Jaws
okay.
is a great movie.
I just saw Jaws for the first time. We'll go over it in a minute.
Oh my God.
And then Black Klansman is the third one.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's the
coming
one
out.
I'm watching.
That's a cool
Yes,
trailer.
yes.
Very cool premise
It looks
based off of a
awesome.
real story.
True
So let's
story.
go through them.
I've
one
never
at a
seen
time.
afros that look more beautiful than
Oh.
in this movie.
Let's go over them one at a time. Though Slender Man, based off of a
Slenderman.
creepy pasta. We watched the trailer last week. Go ahead and check that out on the page. And there's a lot of stuff behind this because there was a doc that came out.
Right.
I think there was another movie, right? Was there another Slender Man
I don't know.
movie?
It was a Slenderman movie. I think
Okay.
it was a movie about like one of the cases. Or
Okay.
something.
Okay. Yeah. And if you don't know that story, please look at it. You know anything about the Slenderman case?
Everyone does.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Everybody
Yeah,
who has
let's just
internet
assume.
access.
Just
I
assume
hope.
you've heard it.
It's creepy.
If not, probably watch the doc. My assumption is they did a good
Yeah.
job.
Just read the creepy pastas.
But it is,
Look
yeah.
at the
Get
creepy
with
pastas.
it.
I think it is, but it is one of like the fastest growing, like I guess, urban legends.
Okay.
It's kind of just like
'Cause
in the
it-
internet.
It just,
It's definitely
it
the
just
most popular
Exploded,
pasta.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's not that old. I mean,
Right.
considering
Sure,
and it
sure.
just
Isn't it?
it came, it spread, like wildfire.
Also a popular
so.
indie
How
video
old
game.
is it?
Not old. It's like
I feel like it's pretty
seven-
for internet
7 years?
times.
7
That's
years.
old on the internet.
That's
Sure.
true.
Oh.
true.
When
I
it
guess
comes to
that's true.
internet fads, that's ancient, and it
Yeah.
managed to stand the test of time. That's
When
impressive.
did the first?
The first what?
Oh, I was just
Oh,
saying
the
when
first,
did
The spread of
Slenderman
Slenderman is
come
so
out?
impressive.
the first sighting.
Yeah, the first.
But it was definitely
Long Man
you know,
sighting.
Definitely
Long
internet.
man.
He's long.
Well,
I
look
don't know.
out! It's the long guy.
The long guy.
What do you
Why is everybody scared of the long dude?
Fear for your life.
It's like a loppy dude, you know, like
It's long.
What do you
man.
guys think Slenderman's gonna get? And to be clear, I know it is called Slender Man.
we're just joking. We're
many,
joking.
many Slendermen.
It's just like
it's like Pokemon.
it's like an inside joke here on Screen
We,
Source.
we had the discussion about
Slenderman.
horror movies.
Slenderman.
in
Don't think it.
general.
Yeah. Well, first off, critics don't like horror films.
They don't.
Yeah, and
Unless
then
they're as
you-
good as Harry.
the-
Horror.
Harry-
The li-
Horror
and then
films.
The good
Not
horror
horror.
movies
do
like
get
horror
lumped in
films.
with the bad ones.
Of course
you
they do.
know.
Harvey Weinstein.
Sorry, we're on
Sorry.
a side conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
Talking about horror.
What do you guys think Slenderman's gonna get?
23.
You're right. Critics
That
don't
sounds
like
reasonable.
That's
Like
yeah.
35.
I can't. I don't see it.
I don't see it
I
either. I
really
just don't
don't.
think it's gonna.
Maybe I'm gonna say 30.
30.
Okay.
30-ish.
28.
Hey, is there a piece of paper and pen right there? No, there isn't. That's all right. Producer, can you just write this down for me? Slender Man, 28.
8.
28.
Yeah.
Okay,
28,
cool.
sure.
Slenderman,
The
28.
average.
Why not?
The Meg. So this is what is this? Today's Jaws, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to
Yeah.
give it like, like a 75. I'm going to say like well, actually I'm going to go a little lower. So I'm going to say 70.
70 sounds good.
70.
It looks fun. I can't.
It
I
looks
can't
fun.
say it doesn't. I mean, it's delivering on what it's promising.
Can
I
critics
hope,
look
you know?
at like movies like this that are kind of like Jaws and like be a like
No.
take it
Not
seriously
biased.
They're not
today?
going to take it seriously. They're going to give it like a 70 or like
It's
a
not
65.
Steven Spielberg. They're not
Yeah.
gonna just love it.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
And I will say too, again, I saw Jaws for the first time like a couple days ago.
Thoughts?
I don't know how well it holds up. I can see
Mm.
the fun. I can see why people found it fun. The ending was very quick.
It's very much a
Right.
product of its time.
It's kind of
Yep.
a product
Situation.
of
I
its
think
time.
honestly, I don't know, man. I think you'd have to have watched it before CG, before.
It's kind of like
Because
the
I think
Goonies.
it's one of those things. I mean, like the idea, like the shark itself, and like the whole story behind it.
Gotcha.
Like I mean, I think it doesn't hold up as well now.
It's
because of
honestly
what we're used to.
it
It's
was
a
mostly
nostalgia
the some of like the dialogue and acting that pissed me. Everything was
yeah.
overacted,
Oh, yeah.
overwritten, especially the captain of the ship.
Haha.
Yeah.
Like,
He's the
to
best
the point
part,
where he's
though.
like kind
That
of
guy's
obnoxious.
awesome.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
that's an 80s
Yeah,
action
whatever.
film.
I
for
mean,
sure.
Richard Dreyfuss is the shit. So
Anyways,
I don't
The
know.
Meg with Jason Statham. Yeah, I don't know. I think you guys aren't even high.
I
Okay, fine,
truly
lower.
hate.
55.
I'm gonna say like 12.
Damn.
I absolutely hate movies that are like anti-shark. Sorry, that's the hippie in me. But I hate Jaws. I hate this. I hate any movie that makes the shark
will
the bad
say
guy.
Did you watch Shark Week? Is that why?
Yes, and I love that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So.
It's the same writer as Jaws, and I know he wrote, and I know that like, and the thing is too, the movie is very different from the book.
Yeah.
But he acknowledged that it kind of created this scare, and that was one thing that he regretted about just everything that had happened. This is the writer, the author of the
Gotcha.
book. Was that people were scared of sharks, and it was this big like real thing, and people were hunting sharks like when it came out, and
It's true.
That's
so
awful.
so when he
That's
so he
awful,
wrote
but
the
sharks
Meg-
are fucking scary, guys.
yeah, true that.
Well,
But
we're
I
in
mean,
their
they don't-
house. Like,
Yeah.
we
No,
don't
I
have any
get
business
that.
being in
Somebody
their
told me
home.
that
I mean, I
they
totally get that,
it was
but
for a
still.
screening of Jaws and or the Meg, where they had a screening of it outside on the
In the
beach
water.
in the water, and you're in a tube, a floaty
No,
tube.
thank
They've done
you.
that before.
That's awesome.
I love sharks, but I'm not going in their house.
Oh, no.
I'm not
He
tempting
wrote the
fate
Meg
that way.
anyway, so I don't know about the movie.
I don't need to
but
do that.
The
Heck
story
no.
he came up with was
Watch a
one
movie in a
that
house or
it wasn't.
theater.
He specifically didn't want that same reaction
Okay.
to the Jaws reaction. He
Okay.
didn't want people
Okay.
to be like freaked out again. It was
And this
more of
looks
like,
so
you know,
extraordinary and like
Yeah.
out of
It looks
like
cray
that
cray.
realm.
Megalodon.
Yeah.
Look at the size of that mouth. It's a shark inside a shark.
I'm going 50 right down the middle.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm with that.
All right.
I'm
Okay.
good with that.
All right,
That's
the Meg,
fine.
50%, and Black Klansman.
I don't know.
I think if it's
it's well
Spike
done.
Lee on firing on all cylinders,
Spike
I
Lee.
think it'll be amazing.
80.
I feel like he was
even
pissed
a
making
90.
this. More so pissed than usual.
I think that's
As
good. I
he
think that
should
makes for
be.
great.
If it's gonna
that's-
be good,
that's
it's
the
Did you
gonna
best
guys
be
Spike
hear?
Lee.
good.
Yeah, like all
It's gonna be
the
good.
things that Spike Lee was saying when they were talking about so like
Not
just
all the
like a lot
things.
of shitting on Trump, obviously.
Right.
Also, he's very mad at like certain states who like won't even put this movie in their theaters because it's too black.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow,
Um,
that's a
Well,
thing.
then
I didn't
I'm
hear
sure
that.
It's a lot close to home too.
Yeah.
It's too black. Was it Mississippi?
I don't know.
It was probably like
Probably.
it was probably like Kentucky
Wow,
and
of
like
course,
Yeah.
Mississippi.
some
Yeah.
southern states, Alabama.
It's always
Um,
North Carolina.
It has Topher Grace, right? I'm pretty sure.
Cute.
Topher Grace? Does
Topher
it?
Grace, he's David Duke.
Oh, it has
and
the
then,
guy from
Adam
Star
Driver.
Wars, Adam Driver.
And again, based on a true story, it is about a black man who infiltrated the KKK. He wrote a book about it. And this
Freaking
is what it's based
amazing
off of.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So crazy.
I think
Super
yeah,
cool.
the story alone. I think
Some
is
balls.
I think this is
Like,
gonna be up
no
there.
kidding.
I think this is gonna be like and
85,
critics like
90.
Spike Lee,
Awesome.
87.
Yeah, 85, 90, 87,
Yep.
yeah.
I'm loving all these like movies that are coming out like this that piss people off and are very like I'm just
Like
loving it.
political.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah. I'm gonna say like 87 sounds good.
That works. That
All
works.
right,
I'm gonna see
87. Can you
that.
write
It
that down
looks
for
funny.
us?
Yeah.
Sweet. We will check back in next week and see how that, see how our scores hold up. Hopefully we weren't too high again. We did that the week before also.
Well, we gave Slenderman like really low score, so I feel like
I hope he does good.
No.
yeah,
Mr.
he's not
Slender.
gonna do
Mr.
it.
Man.
That's Mr. Man to you.
Sorry,
What do you guys
Slenderman.
think about
You're not doing
Slender
not
to
gonna
his
do well.
friends.
It's off a little bit, but La Llorona is getting the movie treatment.
what?
Oh, I'm so
What?
pissed off.
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
I had a
That's-
script in mind for a La Llorona horror movie for like 2 years now.
It's- I
As
don't-
long as it's done by like Guillermo del
it's
Toro or something,
one,
then
actually.
it'll be good.
Yes.
Or he might be producing it.
That'd be so
That
good.
is so
That's
perfect.
the only way I'm gonna
I'll-
see it now.
James?
I mean, yeah.
James Wan? Yeah.
Because he's a producer on like Saw and Conjuring, and I think it's in that vein.
If
that's who's
it's
doing
by
it?
James Wan, I'm
Oh.
okay
I don't know if
with
he's
it.
doing it. I think
He's doing
just
The
producing
Conjuring?
it.
I was gonna say like
That
if
might be good.
if there's a someone Mexican involved, then it'll
Sure.
be good.
Sure.
Otherwise,
Just
I agree.
anybody.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
Black
Anybody.
Klansman
I'll be
was made by all white people.
Because,
Yeah.
right. Well, I mean, with the idea that when you're looking for the horror, I guess, yeah,
Sure.
you know,
well,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I think like that is a traditionally Mexican story, and so it needs to be done well. It needs to be done by
somebody that can
culturally
get the nuances
correct.
of it,
and the
know, that's-
visuals
that-
and the
yeah.
setting and the
Sure.
yeah.
Anyway,
All right, let's move on to reviews. So
Reviews.
we had some homework this week. We watched a couple of things. The first thing that we watched was Flavors of Youth. This is a new Netflix original that dropped, I believe, Tuesday, right? Yeah, I believe Tuesday.
Today, yeah.
What is today?
Today is Thursday, so that
Right.
doesn't matter as much. But basically, it dropped a couple days ago. It's from the creators of Your Name, same production studio. And I text this crew immediately, and I was like, guess what just dropped today? I freaking love the movie Your Name. We got to give this movie a watch. And so we did. And so just to kind of give a broad overview, it is 3 separate stories. It's considered like a mini anthology. It runs like 75 minutes long. So what is
Not
that?
long.
Each story is like 25 minutes
Something
or so.
like that, yeah.
And so we had 3 separate stories. Do you guys want to do like a synopsis on each of them, or how did you want to go about this?
Sure.
So you guys remember the first one?
Yeah. First one was
the best one.
kind of about the food and how food is attached to nostalgia and memory.
The rice
and
noodles.
The noodles, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
So
kinda
there's
sweet.
a kid who you're watching him kind of grow up, almost a coming of age, and it's all about his connection with these noodles that were made in his little town, and it was made by a husband and wife couple. Also his mother would make the soup from these noodles, and he had a connection with his grandmother.
His grandmother, yeah.
And then you're watching him kind of grow up, go through school, and there's a girl that rides her bike every day past him, and he has a big old crush on her.
So cute.
And then as he gets older, he's realizing there's like less of this mini town feel because he moves into the city, I think, for school.
Yeah.
And then grandma starts getting sick. He's realizing in the big city he's not getting like the same type of feel that he got when he had that soup growing up that his grandmother would make and stuff. Grandmother gets sick, his grandmother dies. And it's a very sad scene. And she dies holding his hand. To kind of wrap it all up, he goes and has some soup. He finds out that this noodle place is opened up that was run by the original owners, I believe, right? Did it look like that?
It
It was
wasn't
the second. The second.
the
group,
second
right?
shop
The
that
second shop.
he went to was reopened.
Was it the same
It was the
people?
same.
Because it was
I
because
don't
I
know.
thought that was I thought that
was
was
the
his
wife.
classmate.
Yeah,
That
you're
was-
right.
And the dad.
You're right,
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Anyway.
And so anyways, yeah, and then he has a nice cup of soup, and then a girl rides by on her bike, and this is like 15 years later or something, and it kind of reminds him at least of the girl that he had a crush on. It may not have been the same person.
Right.
Probably
Who
wasn't.
knows?
Who knows? That's the
Yeah.
mystery.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is story 1.
Yeah.
And what was that one called?
That one was called the rice.
Rice noodles,
The rice noodles.
I think.
There's a longer name for it, I thought.
Longer than the rice noodles.
So-
Anyways, yeah. So that was story 1. Story 2 was about
Modeling.
it's about
Was
a
the
model.
model.
It was
yeah.
about sisters.
Yeah, a model and her
It was
sister.
about yeah.
It was about like her eating disorder, kind of like trying to live up to the expectations of being a model and basically becoming anorexic, and how she fainted and had to go to rehab, and yeah, that part was really important part of it too.
Yeah, there's a lot of relationships, I think, in this one.
Mm-hmm.
There was the relationship with her sister, first and foremost, who was a designer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She made clothing.
Yeah.
And then her relationship with her manager, who we don't know.
We sort of speculated that he might be gay, just
Yeah.
because like there were
He
some
says
comments.
it, right? Doesn't
Yeah.
No, he does. Yeah.
I think
He's
he
like-
does.
They
he's
make a
like-
little joke about that.
Yeah, he's like, I don't hit on.
I'm not into
Women.
girls or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
kind of tossed aside, little
Mm,
quick
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing. And then the relationship with the new model, this up and coming model with pink hair.
Who she's
and
like super
younger.
jealous of. She's
Yeah.
younger than her.
And then what
Yeah.
the catalyst was the clothes, right? That's what kind of connected her like childhood and
Yeah, this her mom looks like she used to either sew or crochet, kind of, and that was like a big thing that they grew up with. And it shows them as little girls, and they're wearing matching dresses, and like you can tell that that's like a big important part of their life. And then they both go on to kind of do these things that are part of that world.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
shared it, and then like because her thing was she got tall, and then became a model, and her sister was just kind of ordinary.
Right. And there was also kind of a theme of like, she was trying so hard to please everyone else instead of doing like what was true to herself and like what she wanted to do. And so at the end, it kind of seems like it was what she wanted to do was actually model her sister's clothing, and like instead of just like doing what she's told by everyone else, she kind of got to do what she wanted.
She's struggling too also with she said, I have two jobs. It's my sister and it's my modeling. And she felt like if she wasn't doing one, she was struggling with the other, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
So that was basically, the resolution of that story was that her sister helps her get back into modeling after she had fainted on the runway, and to help her get back into modeling, she asked the manager to kind of trick her into modeling, basically, and she gives her clothes, and so now the sisters share this thing together.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the second story.
Yep, that was the second story.
And the third story was about what?
It was about
an architect.
Yeah, it was like this kind of love story about
the weird
an architect. It's just like these two. It starts off with like these 3 teenage kids that are like best friends, and like 2 of them are pretty much in love with each other, and then one of them, the girl in the story, she gets beat by her dad quite a bit, and he has these like really high expectations of her. Wants her to take this test, this like aptitude test, so she can go to this really prestigious school, and it's far away, and this would be for college. And then and then of course she tells the guy that she loves that she's going to take this test and she's going to have to move far away and all this stuff. And so he decides that he's going to take the test. So he starts like studying really, intensely.
His family doesn't think he can do it.
Right. And so he tries to prove them all wrong. And then of course he ends up passing. And then for whatever reason, she ends up failing. Won't give anything away about the ending, but so she ends up failing, and so he leaves and becomes an architect and goes to that prestigious college, and she's stuck back in, with her family being ashamed of her and all this stuff. So,
and there's this whole thing with these cassettes, like how they communicated in.
So cool.
Yeah,
that was like the noodles and the clothes. It was the cassettes.
That
brought it to
and very much a nostalgia factor on that too.
Yeah, and the twist ending there that you learn is that, and it also a very very much a coming of age. You're watching them grow up, and he goes and visits her later on, and no, do you learn that then? That basically she failed the test on purpose.
Well, that was the cassette. Like he put it.
It was in the cassette.
And then he listens to it years later.
Yeah,
because they use the cassettes like letters.
Yeah, you find out that she fails the test on purpose because she doesn't want to leave the city because she wants to be with him.
Oh my gosh, it's so heartbreaking.
And had he known that, he probably would have failed it on purpose too, or not even taken it.
He wouldn't have taken it.
Yeah,
right,
he was only studying to be with her.
Yeah, I know. And then, I love that story so much.
Oh my god, so good.
Gift to the Magi.
Yeah. So what were your favorites? What were your favorite moments? Oh, and then also we should say too the end caps of this thing was that it starts off in an airport and it points at 3 different groups of people and you have no clue who they are. Points up to an airplane and then it starts story 1, and then it ends with the 3 people in the airport and how all of their lives, even though not connected. They basically all have their own stories and their own lives.
Right. And it's like they're all kind of it all really ends on a nice note. Like the guy in the first story is I think he's going back home, maybe? I don't know. Then
or he's like leaving I think he's leaving his homeland back to his
his regular life.
Current life,
yeah. And then the second story it's the 2 sisters, and I don't know where they're going. They're traveling somewhere together. And then in the third story, it's the 3 friends that are like now adults, and are like
Yeah, they're all
traveling
together.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a really nice ending because you see all of them and they're all like together again, kind of going back to just the relationships and the nostalgia factor of all of it ties it all together.
Do you guys have a favorite story?
Yes.
I like the first one.
Me too.
That was your favorite?
Yeah.
Why?
Go for it.
To me, that one was the most like fluid,
Okay.
I guess. The other ones, I don't know.
It's about soup.
It's true, too.
Because I'm hungry.
I mean, I got the modeling one. The last one was a little. I don't know. The whole thing with the cassettes is a little much.
Okay.
I don't know. I wasn't buying it at least. But I mean, like that was the soup one was the only one that kind of like it made the most sense.
Okay.
Out of all the other ones,
It was
Or
definitely the
just-
simplest of stories.
I think. Well, yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, where everyone else was kind of had all those other things, and then there's this thing that connects me to my youth.
I also think as a viewer, it is the easiest to connect with because everybody eats.
right.
Yeah.
That's
Not
true.
everybody models.
Right, not everybody models and not
everybody's
everybody
into
makes
fashion
mixtapes and
yeah.
things like that.
Everybody
studies hard.
eats.
Yeah.
The only issue I had with the
Hopefully.
first one is I think they didn't focus on relationships enough, whereas the other two they may have focused on them
Correct.
too much.
Exclusively.
And so the
Yeah.
first one, a lot of it has to do with like his relationship with his grandmother.
Yeah.
And they barely touched on it. You saw her for like no more than 20 seconds.
It's true. He kind of seems like a loner throughout.
Well,
Yeah.
that was the other thing too. I think it kind of was kind of like each of them. That's the one thing I appreciated too. I think it was each of them was sort of like a cross section of I guess whatever life.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah.
that he was the loner, and then you had the sisters, family. Then you had the group of kids who were they're the family but they're friends. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
kind of each little.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I identified a lot with the first one, just because I tend to have like a lot of nostalgia around food, and then I think the one that I liked the most was the last one.
Yeah, Jess and I are in the last. That's our favorite. I think we could all agree that the middle one wasn't the best one.
No,
I don't
it
like
wasn't.
the way they wrote female characters.
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't like the way they wrote female characters, or at least the way female characters address one another. I don't know if that's just like reading too much into it, but
Sure, no, that's the point. You're
Yeah,
supposed to
it
read
could've-
into it.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
just it was a good story. I'm not like it was garbage. It was a great story, but sandwiched between these two other much stronger stories, it really stood out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought maybe the second one. I thought I had the reaction that you had with the third one. I thought it was over convoluted. There were so many themes that we were supposed to focus on.
That's
we were
what I
supposed,
mean, yeah.
We're
A lot
supposed to
of stuff
on the
going
second
on.
one. We're supposed to focus on the fact that she's overworking herself as a model, the modeling industry in general, the eating, the working out, her relationship with her sister, which is strained but kind of not really. She adopts her.
Yeah.
There's like a whole thing with the family where they were separated as kids, and then later on
Yeah.
she adopts her, and then the relationship with the kind of the weird manager guy who's in and out, and he's a friend,
Yeah.
and then also kind of sexual at one point, and it was weird, and like don't hit on my sister, and like
But
they're just
also he's gay.
they hit so many themes in 25 minutes. I was like, this is too much.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish they would have done
wish
what they
they-
did with the
I-
first one,
well,
just
yeah.
focused,
I'm, like-
honed in on it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
like the catalyst was the clothes, and that had the same effect. Like it just kind of the clothes and the cassette felt more shoehorned in.
Okay.
Whereas like the first one was like sort of built around that. I
Mm.
guess that's what I meant in that sense. But yeah, I mean, like that was way.
To
too
be
much
clear,
going
I made
on.
this I was very proud of myself. I made this connection. I'm not always the best at finding the symbolism, but the first story is about taste. The second story is about
Sight.
and the third
Okay.
with the modeling and all
Yeah.
that stuff, and the
Yeah.
third story is about listening or about hearing.
because of the tape.
Yeah, so it was like
Okay.
Oh.
how our senses
Okay.
remind us of things, how our senses are our memories.
Yeah,
Cool.
very much so.
Yeah.
That does
And
make
then just to talk about the third one a lot, which I'm very glad they ended it with what I believe was the strongest story. I'm glad they ended it with that one. I'm also a sucker, I think, for these love stories. It was much more like the movie Your Name, which is the highest grossing anime film of all time, beating out Studio Ghibli's Spirited Away, and probably the next 10 after that are all Studio Ghibli.
That's impressive to do that. Wow, that's
super
not
impressive.
And
easy
it
to do.
deserves it. You should watch it.
Yeah,
It's
no,
so
really
good.
Still haven't seen it.
So Your Name is a lot like is a lot like the third story, in that it's a love story, and it's also kind of like a disconnected love story. They're not.
It's not like a typical love story. It's it's like
He doesn't
it's
get
like
the girl.
Her, or like one of those kind of like very atypical.
Which is why I like her so
Kinda like
much.
Eternal
and-
Sunshine. type
Yeah.
of-
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
very different. And so I really liked what they did with the cassette tapes, and I think maybe in the same way that you liked the first one, I connected with that right away because I used to do that. I used to make cassette tapes with friends and like people that I had crushes on.
Did you?
and-
Okay. Well, I guess. What, I don't know. What got me was like it's supposed to be a back and forth, but they're like talking to their little cassettes, you know. And I was like, is that so? Is that his? Did he make a recording that answered that and send it to her, and then she sent her response back? Like,
okay, so so here's our cassette tape. And how it started off is that they're recording notes for each other in class, but then they actually just end up making notes to each other. So it's like, hey, who do you have a crush on? And then I give you the tape, and then you record continuing that because it's just a cassette. And then, are you not understanding like how?
No. I mean, I guess I do, but I mean, I was like, all right.
Yeah, you did. You clearly didn't buy into it.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I mean, just how they were doing it, they might as well have just been talking on the phone. How they presented it visually and how it was like, I would have liked to have seen like that. Okay, he's answering her and then gives her the tape, like physically gives her the tape.
Yeah, he gives her the tape later on. It's like passing notes, honestly.
Yeah,
it was the equivalent of passing notes, but with audio.
Right.
I did that with my friends as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was that one special friend that you like had little private conversations with.
Sure.
It made sense.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying though. Like, it'd be weird to be like, who do you have a crush on? Give it to them, and then a while later they answer.
Like 2
you.
weeks
You're
later,
just like,
or like the next day.
Did you
like,
listen to my tape?
I guess I don't know. I like.
I could see that.
It just seemed to me like it was somebody who didn't grow up with tapes. It was like, oh, it goes like this, and you do this, and you know they're cutting out the whole.
Yeah, it could have been like a product of its time because I certainly did things like that.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I definitely think that, but I mean, like just the way they presented it, it was confusing.
Sure.
Because like I was like, okay, then he's answering this, and then they're having this back and forth, but it's and like the time, it seemed like they were just having this conversation. She's at her desk, he's at his desk. I didn't get the passage of time, and that confused me. I guess.
Oh, that's where you. Okay.
So I didn't, and then once I figured out, okay, that's what's supposed to be going on.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a little much. That one was a reach for me, but I mean that's because like I said, I didn't catch the
passing of time.
Well, I didn't know if that was supposed to be it.
Yeah, that is definitely what it was supposed to be. My favorite moment of all three of them also comes from the third one, which is when they meet back up in the middle of high school when they're all at different schools, but they're all in high school, right? And it's awkward, and they don't know what to do around each other because they haven't talked to each other in a couple of years. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
And he kind of walks her to the bridge, and then she just leaves. And that just, I don't know why, it felt so real. That idea of like not knowing what to say, not knowing what to do.
Well, I think too, and I guess she assumed that he heard her tape.
Yes.
So she's awkward, and then he has no idea.
Right.
So he has no idea.
And that's why I love that. It's a miscommunication and how that feels. It just felt very visceral to me, I think. Yeah. And so, yeah, that was Flavors of You. You guys have anything else you want to add?
It definitely was like very feelings heavy.
Yes.
I definitely got that gift the Magi vibe of like, if only I had known things could have worked out how we both wanted it. We could have been together.
Sure.
I do get why it's a great story, but it made me sad. The first one was my favorite. I think my favorite shot was like that ramen that they put down, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. I think I think we were talking earlier about how I'm a very visual person when it comes to certain things, and that could be a lot of the Miyazaki films as far as like beautifully animated food.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so yeah, visually it was just gorgeous.
If you've played Final Fantasy 15, the food looks just like that. And
I
like
just like
it's a
good
huge part of
visuals.
the game, just like making food.
Yeah, it's pretty,
Right,
and like
yeah.
food aside, like the backgrounds are pretty, the color palette, the like sound. I'm very into that kind of thing when it comes to animation. So I love that.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
really like this production
Gorgeous.
studio.
Oh my
Watch Your
gosh.
Name. It's even prettier than
I
this.
want to.
So
If
It's
it looks
pretty.
this good, oh
It's
my.
it's
wow.
this good, but better.
But
Like,
better?
But it's this good, but like more colorful, kind of like what Studio
Ooh.
Ghibli does. Which
I
know
need
it's
to
hard to
watch
beat,
it.
but I like that there's a very clear distinction in like why Your Name, why people are
Why
thinking,
it's so good. Yeah,
why people like.
That's
Your
why
Name
I
so
watch
much.
a lot of like anime movies, is because they're beautiful.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's the main reason I watch anime movies. Also
A
because
lot
they're
of the
fun.
reasons I don't watch anime
No,
movies
yeah.
is the stories.
Stories suck. No, obviously,
Yeah.
like the stories matter, but like
Yeah.
sometimes I hate when it's a great story and it's like just an animation style that's so shitty, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
I know that's why people won't watch Clone Wars.
Oh yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like that animation.
I get it.
It's why I was able to watch Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt. I don't know if you watched that, but
That's
it's
a fantastic
horribly
name.
raunchy. It's horribly raunchy, but the animation style is so cute that I was like, I'll watch it. And by the time I watched 2 episodes, I was hooked, and it was so horribly raunchy and just nasty. But it's a cute animation.
Raunchy and nasty. From
So
like
basically, that's what hooked me, was how beautiful it looked. But I liked the first story because I connected it, like everybody said, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
very like gut level, pun intended. I'm very much a foodie. My husband and I both bond over food. Like we watch everything on Hulu that's food related. Yeah.
Great British Bake Off and all that.
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh my God, that's my like go to sleep rainy weather show. But yeah, I think of like what Anthony Bourdain said. It was hard when he passed. He was really awesome, but he talked about how food really is like this very connecting thing for everybody. It's
It's
just
so like culturally
yes,
important.
and like
yeah.
I don't know, just like I connected with that one so much, and like so did my husband. That was the one that he was like, oh wow, I get that, like food is so important. It's such a cultural thing. It's such an experience that you share with people. And like the other ones were about relationships, and I liked that. Trust me, I love relationship things. I'm a very like emotional person, but this was more like him in his headspace, and like as an introvert,
Right.
I love going to restaurants alone and having a good meal and just like having that time to myself. So I feel like it sucked that his grandma wasn't there, and yeah, it could have been better to like get into the grandma relationship, but that's what the other ones were for. Those other ones were
Gotcha.
for
Okay, they
relationships.
all
This was
focused
more
on
like
their-
from the introvert's point of view who loves food. This was him reflecting on his past, his memories, and his growth.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I read a lot
Here's
into
what
that.
I love about Flavors of Youth,
I
that
agree.
there's something for everyone.
Yeah,
Sure.
That's
it's
why
different flavors.
It's different flavors. Yeah, very, very, yeah, yes. Yeah, that was Flavors of Youth. Let's move on to our next review, which is going to be Mary and the Witch's Flower. So this is from a new studio that came out last year, which name I can't remember, but is a spin-off studio from Studio Ghibli. A lot of the people that worked at Ghibli moved over, made their own, and this was the first film, if I'm not mistaken, that their first product, if you will,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
they made.
I like it.
And yeah, so let's get into it. How did you guys feel about it?
I was bored. I fell asleep like several times. I think it's like really trying so hard to be Harry Potter. Again, everything's trying to be Harry Potter tonight.
you
But
blame
this,
them?
I know I can't. But
I wanna be
But
Harry
there's not a
Potter.
lot of things that can like measure
Yeah.
up, and it was very cute. Don't get me wrong; it was adorable. Tib and Gib are the best part about this. The 2 cats. Those names are so cute. But I just feel like the story was a little bit like I recycled. Like it's a little bit like
Yeah.
just it's been done before. I feel like the plot wasn't very like
Studio Ponok. That's what it is.
yeah. It was just a little bit boring. I feel like it could have been done much better.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
I agree. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Yeah. The all the artwork was great. Like all the
Yeah,
animation
pretty.
was great. But like I couldn't. It's obviously the people that were at Studio Ghibli doing their best Studio Ghibli
Impressions.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
That's what I'm saying. It's like recycled
that. I like
stuff.
that. I do like that, but then again, you know, I was hoping to see maybe something more, something different,
Yeah.
stepping outside of that, and it really, it was pretty standard.
Yep.
I mean, and yeah, the whole Harry Potter thing.
Mm.
I did enjoy that they, tried to set their world apart with the whole, science is magic sort of.
That was
angle.
cool.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
different. That was something. That was something. A little. I kind of wish they'd explored that a little more. Maybe that would have set it apart a little bit. More.
Yeah.
Did it feel quick? It felt fast.
Felt like a lot.
Actually, it felt
It was a
long
lot in
to
your
me.
face.
Huh.
It
Okay,
felt
never
long
mind.
to me. Maybe it's just because I was
It
bored.
was fast because there was a lot of action, but it was long.
Yeah.
You know
I
what?
get
I
it.
guess maybe I think I watched it in parts too.
That's
So
why
maybe
it would be a
was-
great episodic type of thing.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
watched it in parts. So maybe it was long, but I just felt like the story arc just really came and went.
Yeah.
Well, the story arc wasn't very much to it. She goes
Right.
and then she goes back and then she goes back.
And then the
basically.
twist,
But, I mean, it
like
was,
the whole twist of the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to like spoilers. But
Right,
I was
right.
like,
No,
at
yeah,
first
no,
I was
spoil-
all, "Wow, that's so cool!" And then afterwards I was like, "That's
Is
a lot
it
of
good?
time to spend." Like,
Yeah. There's just there's so many better and cooler things that they could have done with this, and I just don't think that it didn't live up to the potential that I think it had.
So,
yeah.
as soon as I was done with it, I was on the meh.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the meh side of things, and I went up to see what Rotten Tomato critical consensus said, which and it's around a 70 or something, maybe a little higher, but the consensus was higher, way higher than I would have given it. I think actually it was like a mid 80s, and
Yeah,
I
it's too high.
like what they said because I actually agreed with it, which is why I would put it lower. But it was like it said something like kind of like standard storytelling, whatever. But so visually amazing, it really boosts the movie,
Sure.
and that's not enough for me.
No.
So
and
I
I don't agree. I think I would. I mean, the one of the parallels is Spirited Away. I think still has better. It just has more like the whole. I mean, even just the world. We get a little glimpse of their world, whereas like Spirited Away, we get the whole.
You
kind
get
of
immersed in the whole
tapestry
world.
of it. You
I-
know?
And I actually, Dylan and I are not like huge fans of Spirited Away, which everybody hates us for. But
How dare you.
Right.
I am actually a bigger fan of what is the other Ghibli movie that's
Ponyo.
Howl's Moving Castle. I
Oh.
I knew it.
love Howl's Moving Castle like so much, and
Well, you seem
Dylan
like the
does not
type.
like it.
I
I
hate
know
it.
Dylan
I
doesn't
hate
like
that
it.
movie.
It's a little
Um,
spooky, but I like it.
I really like it, so I love that way more than I love Mary and the
So
Witch.
I
I
love
feel like
Kiki.
what they did.
haven't seen
I've
it
not
yet.
seen Kiki's Delivery
I have to
Service.
watch it. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm a
that's
big
my
like Totoro and Ponyo fan.
Okay, yes,
Yeah, me
yeah,
too.
okay,
My-
yeah,
I-
you
my
got me,
favorite's still
Totoro.
Princess Mononoke.
I don't like that
I
one.
don't like that
Really?
one either.
Oh,
I only
wow,
saw it
that
once.
my
It was
favorite.
pretty.
I mean,
I
it's
need to
not
watch it
bad.
more.
It's just like not my favorite. Like I
Sure.
think my favorite ones are the ones that are like the cutesy little kid kind of
Ah.
ones, which are Totoro and Ponyo.
This one was
And
kind of
Howl's
cutesy
Moving
little
Castle.
kid.
So
I
I
liked
agree.
it a little better
I
than
think this
everybody
is
else.
something in between like their rated G Studio Ghibli films and then the PG-13, right? So like
Right.
Mononoke and Kiki's and all that stuff's PG-13, and then
Is it?
Ponyo, and I believe so, and then Ponyo and Totoro are G.
Right.
And you can also see that, and also in kind of their storytelling too, like who their audience is reaching
Yeah.
for, because it's very
Yeah.
simple over here, and then, from what I think is like way too
complex.
convoluted. It's so complex,
This was pretty
Unnecessarily.
complicated. Yeah.
That was my biggest problem.
and then
with
this one
too.
I thought honestly laid somewhere in the middle, which is where I think they were playing it safe, honestly, with
well,
this.
With the action,
they were
yeah.
relying on tropes a little too much.
Yeah.
For me, but then like in doing so, they had to set up their world, which I was like, okay, and I wasn't like it's the same thing with the Harry Potter movies that I've seen. I haven't seen them all, but there was a lot of times where I would want to spend more time in the world, but they're like, oh, Harry Potter's going this way, we're going this way, we're going
Yeah.
this way, and that's
Books are better.
And then I kind of see
for that.
exactly, and I kind of got the same feel with that even.
I feel
Yeah.
like with this and with Ghibli films, they're very good at like, okay, what's another really cool, weird idea that we can shove into this film? And so, here's like the guys that are part of the army, they turn into these weird duck V-shaped things that like are gonna chomp her. You know what I mean? I feel like they do
Yeah.
that all the time
Yeah.
in the Ghibli, and then in this,
Then this
like in this, there was also the cave scene, and there's all these animals and
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
So
I-
sorry.
Go ahead. No.
I know I talked a lot about visuals earlier, and I know I said that's the only thing I care about. I lied. No, this movie was super cute to watch. Like, I liked watching it, and like I'd watch it again, like with a younger sibling. I'd be like, yeah, let's watch this versus something you want to watch because you have terrible taste in cartoons.
Because you want to watch Minions
Paw
movie
Patrol.
again for the 50th time.
God damn it, no more Minions movie. No, like I liked it a lot. It's beautifully animated. It's a good kid's story. It's cute. I like the science is magic. I would take something like Full Metal Alchemist if we were going that route. Like obviously there's better, but like it was cute.
Yeah.
To put it up with heavy hitters like Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it's like, well, that's where it loses all its steam. Like anything Miyazaki does, I really love. I love the way he writes female characters, and I love the way he does antagonists. I feel like antagonists aren't ever bad guy, like a one bad person. This is the writer nerd in me, like really watching it. It's never one bad person. It's always like a force of nature or a turn of events that cause this character to go on this journey where they change and they discover things and they make friends. And that's why I loved Miyazaki as a kid. This was cool, but it felt a lot like action and like tropes that they relied on. And there was a real antagonist in the form of a truly bad person. Like it was that weird ass doctor and the madam, like and they were just truly evil, and they were doing like some weird witch eugenics program. Yeah,
they never got their motivations.
It was kind of like they just went from like
it's the same reason I didn't like the end of True Detective season 1. It was just some gross bad guy.
You're just like,
I feel like that's a bad
it's not
move
complex.
in writing.
Yeah,
like it's not Magneto, who
Yeah.
has this huge background.
They built Magneto.
Right.
Even like, and I was going to compare them to Magneto, but he had a plan and he had a great backstory. Holy cow! So, but this was just like, oh, you're a cool witch. I'm a teacher. This is Hogwarts. Oh wait, you lied about how you got your witch powers. Well, now we're gonna like.
Now you have to die.
Now you have to die because we want to turn you into witches. And like, I was just, it was kind of weird in that. So I didn't like the villains. That's the big thing. Yeah, I didn't like the motive. It was a kids movie that I could appreciate, but don't put it up next to like a Miyazaki
and maybe
film.
maybe that's unfair
doesn't deserve
to
it.
compare it, but it's also like inevitable because
the animation style, yes. Everything else, heck no.
Yep. The story was not nearly
Even
as good as
Ponyo being a simple story that's rated G.
But Ponyo's so wonderful.
It was so precious, and there's never like a true bad guy. It was very complex, the issues that Ponyo went through. So like when you're a kid watching it, there's no bad guy to be afraid of. It's just like growth and development and learning how to make new friends. So that's why I really think that's why it doesn't deserve to be put up with those big heavy hitters.
Sure,
Totally agree.
Sorry, Marion the Witch's Flower. Watch
you're
Flavors
okay.
of Youth instead.
Yep.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to our last little game. We got a little game here today.
Oh my god, I forgot about freaking Marky Mark.
So,
I forgot that he was a rapper.
That's a good
Every
one.
week we play a last
a good
blank
one.
standing. Basically, we go through and we eliminate one by one this last blank. In this case, rapper, actor standing. And then the last person standing is the best rapper, actor of all time. So
okay,
I keep thinking I'm going to run out of ideas, and then every week something happens.
No, that's a good one.
I don't know what came of me. But so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rapper actors up there, and there's 4 of us. So we're going to have one of our producers get rid of one of them. He will get rid of the first one. So let's just go through them really quickly too. Do you want to name them off for me?
We got, starting from the bottom, was that our left, I guess?
Yeah.
We got Donald Glover. Then we got Will Smith, Queen Latifah, Mackie Mac, Common, and Ice-T. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. No, he's
Also,
Mackie
AKA
Mr. Wahlberg
Marky
to
Mark.
you.
Gangster Wahlberg. Cool.
Never
So,
forget.
Mackie.
producer,
Marky
which
Mark.
one do you want to get rid of first?
Common.
Common.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah, he hasn't really
A little
acted in
too
He's-
common.
No,
lot.
he's acting a ton.
He's
Hell on Wheels, I think it's called, AMC show.
no, he's
You
popping
haven't
up now.
seen
I think
that banger?
He's doing one of those things
Never
where he's
heard of it.
concentrating more on like other things than his music,
Okay.
because he's popped up. Like he's in John Wick.
He's in a
I think.
lot of things.
He's got a little role in Suicide Squad. He's
Oh.
he's
He's
all over
bigger
the
than I
never-
thought.
He kind
never
of
been
just
an
blends
A-list,
in, I feel
though.
like.
Huh?
I feel like he kind of
He
just
does
blends
kind of blend in because he's
I
not
wouldn't-
memorable. Clearly,
I wouldn't
'cause
see him and
don't
be
remember
like,
him.
hey,
that's
on
the thing. I don't-
screen.
he hasn't had anything that's really like
a big role,
Like
a
that's
starring
really
role.
that
Not
was
like if
like
I
an
saw
actor.
Don Glover
It
on
wasn't like,
screen.
oh, here's Common.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
not
don't
like
get me
it.
wrong. I love his music, but
Yeah.
we're judging more on acting than
Yeah.
on rapping.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Who wants to get rid of the second one?
Go ahead, Lexi.
I'm gonna say I'm sorry, Queen Latifah.
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
I haven't
that's fine.
seen her in a while.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Also, can you name
sorry,
a movie
girl.
that you cared about that Queen Latifah was the fighting force behind?
The one with Steve Martin. What was that one called?
Oh,
Bringing Down the House.
Bringing Down the
That
House.
movie was hilarious.
Sure, I'll go with that. I like Steve Martin and
Yeah.
Queen
Right,
Latifah.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of Last Holiday.
Yeah.
That was an old one,
That
but
was
I
an
like
old
it.
one.
That's just the
No,
first
she
one
was-
that came to mind.
She was all right.
I liked it as a kid. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I don't mind getting rid of the next
Latifah.
one. I'm going to get rid of Ice-T.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Law and Order, but you
That's
know what?
it.
That's okay.
That's pretty much
really
it.
They
it.
found
Oh,
fecal
he's
matter in
he's
the ear
Tank Girl.
canal.
But he's not.
Girl?
Yeah,
Whoa,
he's one of the
what?
Rippers.
I didn't know
It's a
that.
Tank Girl.
Yeah, Tank Girl. the
Tank
movie?
Girl from the
It's
like
based on the
comics
comic books.
Ah.
from the dude who animated Gorillas.
Yes.
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 Oh.
That guy.
I'm a diehard Gorillas
Yeah,
fan.
yeah. I forget his name.
I love
but
the
Gorillas
Gorillas.
is awesome.
He does a lot of voice acting too, actually, apparently, because he's got the voice
He's got the
for
voice.
it.
Rick and Morty when he was Water Tea.
No,
Oh,
that was
nice.
Dan Harmon, the creator.
Nice.
Who did Water
Yeah,
Tea?
he does a very good impression of.
You just
of
rocked my
Ice-T.
world.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
so obviously they got iced tea and it's Rick and Morty,
And
of
then
course.
He did a lot of action, kind of throwaway '90s action movies. Those
Yeah.
Surviving the
He was in
King.
21. No, that's Ice Cube.
That was
Wrong
Ice
ice.
Cube.
Wrong
Wrong
ice.
Other ice.
I was about to hype it up, but
His
I didn't
brother.
remember.
Yeah.
The
All right,
smaller
let's
of
go to
the
the next one.
ices.
I'll go next.
Which one you choosing next?
Mark Wahlberg.
There you go.
Wahlberg.
Goodbye.
All right,
Goodbye,
get
Mark
rid of the
Wahlberg.
Get rid of the Marky Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Does a lot of good movies.
He's a good actor,
Yeah.
but
He got away with
I think he's a
Sorry.
good funny man.
bye.
He's a funny man.
Yeah, he
He
shouldn't
was
be.
good in Pain and Gain.
Yeah,
That was great. It's old.
Does this leave it to you?
he's okay. He's pretty good.
Are you choosing?
I guess so.
Yeah, you got to choose
Who's
between
left?
Donald Glover
And
and
Will
Will
Smith.
Smith,
Oh, shit.
which is I suspected it was going to be between.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you're going to choose them and be mad at you.
Oh, that's fine. You know what? I'm choosing.
To get rid of.
I'm choosing to get rid of Donald.
Yeah.
You son of a gun.
He's got time, man. He's got lots of time. We got more movies.
Yeah, look at that.
All right,
More
all
movies
right.
to see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whereas
That's
Will
high level
Smith-
production.
I
right
feel like
there.
you're the type of person who adopts senior
I
dogs.
love Big Willie.
That was really,
Right.
that was really nice.
Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was like I grew up on it.
Oh my
Sure.
god,
I've
so
watched
good.
every,
So
maybe
freaking
not every
good.
episode, but most
DJ
of the episodes
Jazzy
over
Jeff.
and over. DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Yep.
It was just the best. He's got a little halo on him now.
I will never forget I Am Legend.
He's the
Honestly-
Fresh Prince.
Honestly,
I
I
mean,
think he's maybe Marky Mark, but I think Will Smith probably opened the door for everybody else. Honestly,
He
Yeah.
is an icon. That's fair. Don Glover just came in swinging.
he's still
He's like the
I'm not
hot
saying-
young
I'm
thing.
still
Yeah.
Speaking of
he's-
Icon, listen
he's
to
gonna more-
the song Icon by his son. Very
Jaden.
good. Jaden Smith.
that
Oh.
album
He's a
is
sweet
His
rapper.
kids are
legitimately
interesting.
like good, and Dylan and
Nice.
I were very surprised that Jaden Smith came out with a good album.
I like Will
That's
Smith as
cool.
a dad. He just lets his kids do their thing. He
Yeah.
doesn't like try to micromanage them the way Billy Ray
Yeah.
Cyrus did with
His
No.
wife does a really cool like round table sort of talk show where she like actually has her kids on the show and they talk about like very taboo topics like sex with one another, and it's so
What?
interesting.
What
It
is that
fucking
called?
Fascinating. I don't know, but it's with
Keeping
Jada
Up with the
Jada
Smiths.
Pinkett Smith, something like that.
Yeah, right.
It's very
That
very.
sounds
What's her
way
daughter's
more-
name?
It's
Willow.
fascinating.
Jada. Willow.
Willow.
Yeah, that show gets very graphic. Like Willow's talking about like the sizes of the penis. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I was all,
No,
wow, is
but
this
like
Really?
there
Yeah.
is like
Willow,
an
no.
episode where like she takes her mom to get like vaginal rejuvenation or something.
Oh my god.
It's freaking
Oh.
amazing. It's so interesting.
That
I don't
is
know why, but it
interesting.
is so interesting.
Look at all these image awards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
Will Smith also probably has the biggest resume amongst all
yeah.
these
Sure.
people. And like
Yeah.
you said, like somebody, like one of you said, like paved the way.
Yeah,
for, like,
fair.
And
Like-
he's actually legitimately a great actor.
He's
Like
so
if
good.
you
He
think
is.
about like movies like Pursuit of
Oh my
Happiness.
gosh.
Yeah.
So
Well,
good.
he's the one
I
too.
watched it as a
I
kid.
think everybody else, and I'm throwing Marky Mark in there, and he's the only one that's done some acting, whereas everyone else is kind of just being that. Like Ice-T is Ice-T.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
He'll
not-
always
he's
be
a
Common is
novelty.
kind of he's getting there.
He's kind of a character actor too.
Kind
though.
of. He's getting there. I wouldn't say that just yet. He's still just common.
Mark Wahlberg's
mostly.
pretty
Queen
good.
Latifah is like
Mark
pretty
Wahlberg's
much
coming
always
up.
Queen Latifah.
I think
Yeah.
the runner-up
As Queen Latifah.
was what it should have been. I think it's Donald Glover.
Donald
Watching
Glover's
him
a
do-
really
He's
good
just
actor.
where is he gonna go? No one knows.
because
He's
he can do
he
everything.
Can go anywhere.
He can do it
He's
all.
like a
He's
triple
incredible.
threat. This dude.
Yeah, well,
I'm
I just-
convinced he's
yeah.
actually 3 people. They're all twins.
Yeah.
Triplets.
There's a great article about
Triplets.
that. What's his rap name?
Childish Gambino
Yeah,
actually
the
was a
article
different
title
person.
was,
Exactly
was
alike.
Childish Gambino. Guys, I have a sense that Childish Gambino and Donald Glover are the same person, and here's why.
And
it's
here's
just like
why.
a list of 20 things of like they have the same girlfriend. They
They look alike.
Wear the same
they look
clothes
like-
on the same day.
yeah, it's awesome. It's
Similar
such a good
voice.
Yeah.
article. Sweet. I'm very happy Will Smith won. He deserves it.
It's fair.
There's a lot of things.
I'm
It is
mad,
fair.
but it's fair.
And now we're gonna move into our last segment.
Cool.
Okay.
It is called trailers.
Yeah, yo.
We should
Trailers.
probably come up with something more fun.
It's
Super trailers.
No, trailers
Super
are
trailers.
like, you know
That's
what?
what we're doing.
I am one of those weird people that likes to get to the movie
I love trailers.
early so that I can
Oh, yeah.
get my popcorn, get my drink, go in, get situated, actually get a decent seat, and then I can watch all the trailers. I
Yeah.
love
Same.
doing that. And even though I do this show now, I still want to get to the movies early to watch all the trailers. And Dylan's
Sure.
like, you've already seen all
With
of them.
the
I'm like,
popcorn.
no, I haven't. Last night I went to the movies. I saw 8th grade and I saw a bunch of trailers that I've never seen before. And
love
so like I just love watching trailers. So
I get you.
trailers are exciting, people.
It's like a
they
mini
are.
movie for free.
Yes.
mini movie for free. Some trailers are
Here we
good,
go.
some trailers are bad. We're gonna find out with the kindergarten teacher. Let's give it a watch.
So tell me about you. What do you do?
I teach kindergarten.
That's such a delicate thing, right?
Nice.
That's Maggie.
You give the kids something and then they have it forever.
Is that guy
Yeah.
Garcia Bernal?
The sun hits her yellow house. It's almost like
No.
a sign from God.
He kind of looks like
Was that a poem? That was a poem.
The sun hits her yellow house. It is almost like a sign from God.
Wow. With so few elements, he makes something very, very complex.
I think we have a young Mozart.
If you stay curious, then you can see the world however you want. Like a cat.
I've asked Jimmy to recite a few of his poems at a poetry reading.
Forget it. On Thursday, he has baseball practice with his friend.
But he's gifted, Mr. Roy.
I want my son to have a normal life.
Jimmy, hi. It's Lisa.
Why are you calling me? It's almost like a sign from God. Why are you upset?
I loved it.
Talent is so fragile and so rare, and our culture does everything to crush it. Hey, Jimmy. Hi.
Hi.
Turn that. Push it to the left.
Oh no.
Mozart
This
was
changed.
nurtured by kings and queens. They massaged his tired hands. They fed him candy. We're going to recite your poems. And we're going to publish a book that has your name on it.
Hello, can you help me?
Oh no.
That changed so
Only on
fast.
Oh my god, that
That's
took a turn so
great.
fast. God
I was
damn,
getting
I
so
love Maggie.
nostalgic.
I love
was
Maggie
like,
Gyllenhaal.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
You
It's
know
so
what I haven't
cute.
seen though? That movie that she got nominated for a bunch of stuff for. It's called like An Honorable Woman or something like that.
Power Ranger? No, she wasn't in that.
I really want to watch that movie. Because
don't know.
she is a phenomenal actress.
Yeah, she's great.
We're about to find
Love
out what
the
movie you were
Gyllenhaals.
talking about, Jess.
Gyllenhaal.
Love the Gyllenhaals.
Both of them, yeah.
I know
Oh.
they're both wonderful.
Damn, she has such a long IMDb.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wow, look at that.
And if you watch Donnie Darko, you can watch them both at the same time. playing actual
the wrong
brother and
Gyllenhaal.
sister.
They need to do that
Oh,
again.
no.
They need to do it again.
It's Maggie Gyllenhaal. Yeah, there you go.
Matt Gyllenhaal.
So let's see. She most recently did a show about The Honorable Woman was the last kind of movie that I've heard of her that she was really good in.
Okay.
And I just heard a lot of really good things about it, so I would like to go back and watch that just so I can kind of prepare myself for this kind of a movie. But she's phenomenal. I love her. Yeah.
This was a great trailer. I liked that they showed that twist in there because now you're even more inclined, I think, to watch.
Oh my god! And that little boy is so adorable.
Precious.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and they did a good job of not showing the resolution. What's going to happen?
Right.
They teased it a little bit with like the "Help Me" phone call.
Yeah.
But as soon as it was as soon as he was in the playground, which you think it's going to be cute, and she's like, "Can you just lift that up real quick?"
That's when my gut dropped. I was like,
and then when he calls and he's like, "Can you help me?"
I just said that.
Oh my god.
And the piano music we were talking about, the one little
ding,
and then it flashes to the next scene.
Yeah.
They did that well. I know that's like an overused thing, but they did that well.
They did, yeah.
Damn.
I'm kind of creeped out. I don't like the vibes. I don't like.
You don't like
I'm
the,
so,
you don't like
I'm gonna
kidnapping
watch
stories?
Oh wow.
Have you
Call
guys
me
watched
old-fashioned,
Have you guys
but-
watched the movie Room? Room?
Not
the Room.
I'm all
not
the room. Don't talk
Room.
about it.
Just Room. It's like sort of a kidnapping movie, and it's got this little boy in it. It is so good. It has the actress that's going to play Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, and she, I think, won an Oscar for it. I think.
She got at least she got nominated. I don't know.
I
Did
think
she win?
won.
She did win. Nice.
And she deserved it. I mean, it is a really good movie. If you guys want to see
I'd
her
have to
in a
check it out.
serious role, it is a phenomenal movie.
I think we
Very
should
good.
just do a like one full day where we just watch all the kidnapping movies.
Oh god.
Taken.
I've never seen Prisoners.
Just kidding.
I heard that's really good.
All the Takens.
All the Takens.
All the Takens. Let's do it.
Yeah, but this looks really good.
How
I'm
many
really,
times
really.
can they get taken?
Took it.
And Gael Garcia Bernal. Oh,
there you go.
my Latin
This looks
lover.
great. It looks beautifully done.
This is and I like too that it's like she's like it's like he's a mini Mozart.
I'm a little sad because it looked like the next like Dead Poet Society. I was like,
Little
yay,
meditate,
it looks so inspiring. But like, this looks cool too.
And you wanted to dislike the parents because they're not bringing him to his full potential.
Right, but they want him to be normal.
But they don't want him to get kidnapped.
Yes.
And it's also like the thing
Like
about
every
like,
parent.
But then you realize in the end, it's all for selfish reasons. Like that's really going to be the crux of the
She
story.
wants her little
Right.
Mozart
Right.
baby, maybe
Right.
more. I don't know. I didn't like the implications of some of those shots.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Sure.
I
you
really
mean, like
didn't.
in the bra and
The whole like him like touching her like thigh, and
Oh, I
then
did
him
not
in
see
that
that.
room, and he said, "Help me."
Oh.
And then like the way she like picked it. Sorry, I like read too much into this. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm off. But like
you
just
could be
like
absolutely right.
the way this is beautifully shot, I think is very intentional, and I just don't like the vibes I'm getting.
Well, and like
I'm very nervous. I think it's gonna be well done, but
there
I'm very
can be
nervous.
too much. I mean, there are people whose parents push them so hard to do well in school and in life that they end up
directs
committing
this?
suicide. I mean, this is just not like
Sarah something.
The majority of people I know with anxiety and depression as 20-something-year-olds were those kids that were very pushed as children, and they never got to be creative. They always got pushed to be
exactly
whatever.
They always were like pushed
or
into
pushed
one
into
career
gender
or
norms.
something.
Did you hear
Yes.
the daddy's like he has baseball practice? He can't do poetry,
Right.
so definitely like some gender norm stuff. I don't know if they're gonna address that.
Right, but it's true. Like I just
think
think
they
like having kids is hard. Being a
Ugh,
parent is
they're
hard.
gross. This
That's
is why I
why
have dogs.
This is why we don't have either.
Dogs are a lot
really
of work
hard.
too.
Let's move on to our next trailer.
Yeah.
So what do we got
Watch.
coming up here?
So
yeah, I'd
creepy
give that
feels.
a watch for sure.
Definitely gonna watch.
Watch for
trailer
sure.
number 2 for The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. You'll be able to sit
The
there.
Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker.
I don't know. Looks kind of lame.
This time has been difficult for all of us. But Christmas comes. We must do our best to enjoy it.
I don't want to enjoy anything right now. Like we should not play. Don't you think I know exactly where I stand?
Your mother was the cleverest inventor I ever knew. And there was never any doubt when I asked, what her greatest creation was. You.
Just a girl. Your mother created our world.
Ugh,
My
I
mother
hate her
made all
voice like that.
this.
Sounds so awful. It's Keira Knightley.
She was our queen.
At your service, Princess Clara.
Princess.
Because
The
they're
future
stupid.
of the realms lies with you.
This does look very
Be careful who you
It looks
trust.
super Tim Burton.
expecting
Does.
you.
Kind of nine.
Mother Ginger wants to rule the realms.
Ew. Keira, stop doing that ugly
I'm
voice.
going to fix it. Can you help me?
It's time to save the kingdom.
Oh, come on,
Morgan Freeman has an iPad.
She's going to destroy everything my mother created.
Are you ready?
No,
You're not ready.
I'm not. I'm not watching that.
I
Want to
really
know
hate
why?
this song.
Yeah, well, I hate the song.
Too edgy for me.
It's very Tim Burton like, and Tim Burton has not been killing it. I mean, he's been killing it, but in a
Wait,
bad
is this
way.
even Tim Burton?
No, but it looks like
It's
him.
Disney. Disney's been going very Tim Burton.
Right, and it's just like, ooh.
It looks like something I'd go watch the
boring.
Dollar Theater if like
There was nothing else.
if like my younger sibling was like, "Hey, you bored? You want to go see a movie at the Dollar Theater?" I'd be like, "Yeah,
Right.
Watch the Nutcracker.
let's go. It's
Sure.
November. Let's
Or
go."
you could watch the cartoon version, which is so much better.
Or if you're doing well financially, splurge and go see the real ballet.
Right.
Oh,
so beautiful.
and you'll feel like a smarter person afterwards. Not like,
And the
yeah,
tickets are,
it's true.
if you want to sit in the balcony, the tickets are actually pretty cheap at UNM at Popejoy. They're like $12. So
It's worth
Okay,
it. We're
so this
plugging
movie
this.
was-
We're plugging the ballet.
Dual directed
Les
by
Hallstrom.
Les Hallstrom, who did almost all of the ABBA music videos, and then nominated for Academy Award for Best Director of My Life as a Dog, which came out in
He's
'85.
done a lot of
Ugh.
And then Joe Johnson was the other director here, who did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Jumanji, Jurassic Park 3, the best of the Jurassic Parks.
Ah.
I'm just kidding. And
better
The
be.
Rocketeer. Yeah.
Jumanji's
Okay,
good.
The Rocketeer was good. You know what? No, this is not going to be good. I'm sorry. I
agree.
really have no hope for this.
Well, okay, so
And Keira
all
Knightley's
these-
voice sounds garbage.
It looks like Alice in Wonderland too. That's what it
This
reminds me
looks
of.
like what they're.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's the
Tim
problem.
Burton.
Like, you'll watch it,
Go ahead.
The Nutcracker Suite is one that they haven't really been able to crack anyway.
Eh.
And it doesn't look like. Oh. Damn straight. You're damn right. So I mean, it looks like they're trying to tell that story with the Alice in Wonderland skin, I guess.
Yeah.
All the computer things they had left
They're
over.
like super edgy, hot topic, story tale telling.
Hot Topic.
You know what
Hot
I'm talking
Topic.
about?
Yeah, they're
like
definitely gonna sell
the
some Hot
merchandise for
Top-
this is definitely gonna be in Hot Topic
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
Christmas.
They're gonna sell those like leggings that go up to the thighs, and then they have like a little bow on them, and it's gonna be like Nutcracker.
Radio.
There's gonna be a cool button with Morgan Freeman eye patch and like
With
a
eye
phrase.
patch.
It's like time to kick some nuts
It's
or
like,
something.
oh,
Time to
something
kick some
stupid.
nuts.
They're gonna like
Oh
sell
my
tutu
God.
dresses.
I want to
and
see that
everyone's gonna
movie.
be
I
like
wanna
wearing
see
tutu
that movie
dresses.
that
Time
we're
to
talking
kick
about.
I
some
patch Morgan
nuts.
Dear
Freeman.
God.
Just- He is
Didn't
the
also
Nutcracker.
Morgan Freeman get into trouble with some sexual harassment stuff recently?
Did it involve the
Probably what he
Nutcracker?
did.
Because I
But he
see
was
why.
cracking nuts.
He was cracking nuts. It's time to crack some
He's
nuts.
cracking all the
I didn't see
nuts.
his name on anything.
Or
Uh,
not
What did
cracking
he-
enough nuts.
Oh
No,
no!
no.
Wait, was it a
Anyway.
sexual thing? Please don't be. Please.
There was a sexual
Morgan.
harassment thing. I think there was
Damn
like
it,
6
Morgan.
women came forward. I could.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. we
Oh,
talked about
Guys,
that.
stop.
Today
fucking
was
things up and being
Jeffrey.
perverts. God damn
Today
it.
it was Jeffrey. Gosh, the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Rush.
Rush. He was accused.
Timbre already got his.
Who's, who did he play?
He
Wasn't Johnny Depp.
Barbosa.
Oh,
He was
Yeah.
shy.
I
Did
kind
he
of
play
see
Johnny
it.
Depp? I can't remember.
So
He should have.
I mean, pretty much they're going down the list of the Pirates movies and saying, "Oh, that guy's a sexual harassment guy. That guy's a harasser. That guy's a harasser." So
I hope I'm gonna go
Gross.
through YouTube and find all the other reviews for Nutcracker in the Four Realms. I'm gonna see if it's anything like the one that we're having. Right?
So it's like Disney.
Doubt it.
Disney,
Talk about
can you
sexual
can you
harassers.
get your shit together, Disney? Because you
Stop
know what?
cracking actual nuts,
Well,
please.
stop making these stupid live action movies and then firing James Gunn for
Oh my
saying
God.
something years and years ago that's not even relevant.
There's a
Like, you're
whole
being
story
change.
too, and like Marvel's fighting to get him back, and Disney,
Yeah.
Disney,
Disney, you're sucking.
Disney said something
Majorly.
like along the lines of like, "This is near impossible. Like we're
I hate
probably
that they
not going to be able to."
chose to like get on their high horse and be like, "Oh, let's do the morally right thing, and it'll look good for PR" on James Gunn.
And,
Yeah,
and they
I-
followed a like fascist right wing
Yeah.
person
Pundit,
that said
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So it's like, ugh, stupid Disney. Come on.
So I have a question. Jess and I were talking the other day. I can't remember what it was, but we were trying to find the last like good live action Disney
movie.
Winnie the Pooh.
Christopher Robin.
Christopher Robin
was
was
Okay,
okay.
I guess
so
that's
very
brand
recently.
new. Okay.
Aren't the
What
Marvel
about
movies
ones that?
technically
Oh,
Disney?
we were talking about Cool
Marvel.
Runnings.
Hey,
Fucking
I
Cool
mean that wasn't
Runnings
the
is
last good
amazing.
Disney
Okay,
movie.
but by that I mean like movies in that vein that,
That
are
aren't
kind of
Disney
like that.
related.
You know what I mean? With it's almost its own story. It's
Okay.
also doesn't have that
See
like
Queen of Cotway.
no.
I want to watch
That's
that.
The chess
she's
player?
The chess player. Yeah.
Okay.
From
Oh yeah.
Is that Lupita Nyong'o?
I think she's.
It looks like
she's-
it's new.
She's in it,
She's
right?
in it. Yeah.
Very cool.
It
looked
came out last
cute.
year, I
I
think.
think so. Yeah.
Newish.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was Disney, but I
Disney.
think that was more in the vein of like Cool Runnings.
I
than,
loved Cool Runnings.
Alice
Oh,
in
man.
Kiss the
Looking
egg.
Glass.
It's a feel good movie.
What was their last movie that wasn't the live action? 'Cause we had Beauty and the Beast, and then
Maleficent.
yeah,
Maleficent. I liked Maleficent.
did
It was
they have a live
visually
action
pleasing.
That wasn't one of those.
Marvel.
So the
Doesn't
best,
count.
most
Oh,
recent,
wow.
Because that's obviously
well,
gonna be
Marvel,
the best one.
obviously the Marvel movies
Winner.
are good, but the best, most recent like live action that they remade from cartoons is Cinderella.
But
I think.
producer's fingers on fire.
I don't think Beauty and the Beast was that great. The remake.
see that.
I don't think Maleficent was that great.
It's pretty.
It was pretty, but I really
I
don't think
didn't
the acting was that
you
great.
gotta bring down that visual.
So that's
aspect.
too Into the Woods. They didn't.
That was
forgot
like
about
the
that.
last good Tim Burton movie.
That-
That's what it was.
That was pretty
Pacifier.
cute. That was pretty cute. There has to be more recent ones.
Best live action
I like
Disney.
Sky
Chronicles
High.
of Chronicles
Sky
of Narnia
was good.
5.
Oh no.
The Shaggy Dog.
I mean, you know
Oh,
what?
Glory Road.
All right, let's move on to our next
Yeah.
trailer. This
This
is going
looks
on-
bad.
So
This is
big
I
fat,
can roast it
big
forever.
fat skip.
Big fat skip.
Yeah. No.
Let's watch the trailer for The After Party.
Is that guy from Workaholics going to be in this? Probably.
Hello, it's Young O. How you doing? Hi. I like all real shit in front of me and all bullshit aside. I've been sick with it my whole life and I ain't even die. Yo, wrote 100,000 raps and never had to lie. I watched Passion of the Christ twice and I ain't even cry.
Is that the flush of a record deal, Ramel?
Ramel is in LA. That's his intern, Bernard.
Look, yo, we've been going hard for like 3 years.
Hey, Owen.
I got a show.
Owen is a rapper.
Oh, cute. Tonight, this show is gonna get us the deal. Tonight's about fate. It's about murdering that mic out there. That's Wiz Khalifa.
Do you think? Thanks, fam.
I know this will come as no surprise to anyone here, but Wiz Khalifa has some incredibly strong weed.
Of course, he's Wiz Khalifa.
Young L is the one they know so well. Real recognize really, your name ring no bell. Yo, Wiz, this shit is strong. I'm smacked.
I guess that is bad.
I hope that's
Not my Yeezys, bro.
Whoa.
So they're calling him Seizure Boy, and they even have a seizure
boy.
You're Seizure Boy.
Nah.
This is actually what would happen.
Right.
Fuck am I
This
doing?
is the most realistic.
Is it over for this guy?
Stick a fork in him, he's done.
What's the name of hand, boy? Let it go.
Your rap career
All
is
because
not
of Wiz
over.
Khalifa's
In
weed.
9th grade, I told you that if you let me be your manager, I would go ham for you. Tonight, the after party to end all after parties. Everyone in the game will be there. French Montana.
T Grizzly?
Yo, this is Pusha T. All you have to do is spit a fire verse and then we got ourselves a record deal.
You got a plan to get us in?
The kid always comes through in the clutch.
The kid rarely comes through in the clutch.
Yeah, she's got a point. The kid basically never comes through in the clutch.
If y'all want to get in here, come back with a whole lot of bitches. Or don't come back at all.
Do you want to come to the after party?
No.
What's the name of hand, boy? Let it go. Yo, that's the Soldier Boy, right? Like How do we get a record deal before the sunrise?
DJ Khaled!
Rulez. Bro, you gotta chill, man.
Bless up.
Bless up. What's up?
Totally.
Jadakiss. I love Jadakiss.
What is this Froze drink that everybody's going on about in all their songs? Is it Frozen Rosé? Because if that's what it is, then I need some of that. Just saying. Right.
What's with this pickle slushy? They should do that with margaritas.
Hell yeah.
Oh wait, that's
We're
already
getting way
what
off topic.
margaritas are.
But anyway, this looks funny.
It made me want to drink.
I laughed hard twice. The first one was that GIF where he's
Seizure
like,
Boy.
That was actually really funny.
It's like Soldier Boy, but
I'll watch
Seizure
it. I'll hang out with my homies and watch this.
Yeah,
Just, like on the couch.
I think it has to be with your homies.
It's
It has to be
series,
with your
right?
homies.
Or is it a movie?
I think it's just a movie.
Oh, okay. On Netflix though.
That's what it said. Yeah, Netflix.
Also, the dude from Workaholics wasn't in here, so that's a bonus. I'm so happy.
You
I'm
don't
so
like the
sick.
dude. Which one?
I'm just
Which
telling
dude?
the dude.
Curly
with the
hair?
punchable face.
Oh.
He was in Pitch Perfect.
Okay.
What is his Adam
They
Levine?
should all
no.
be punched though.
He
right?
looks like a little tiny boy.
Yes.
In a man's body.
He's in every party movie.
Yeah.
He really is in every party movie now.
Yes. That's why I thought he would be in here. I'm like, he's gonna show up.
This is a much better premise than I would have thought.
By World Star Hip Hop,
right?
What?
Yeah.
I kind of want to watch it too.
I want to watch it just for that. Just to see what they're
I kind of liked what they're putting
doing.
down. There's Wiz Khalifa. I like him.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Chris Rock's. I believe it's Chris Rock's brother.
Yeah, he's in the show
He's in Love.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's really good
which
in
is
that.
also a Netflix
With
original.
who is he?
He's the guy that works the concession, not the concessions, the what's it
Gas
called?
station?
No, the table with the food. What's that
Oh,
called,
craft
guys?
services?
Craft services. Yeah.
Oh, he's Gus's friend. I
Yes.
love Love.
Yes. Loves
Yeah,
love.
Love
I
is
love
great.
Love.
I love Love too.
Everyone should love Love.
This, I think, the white dude in the movie is to get the white audience. Does anybody else think that?
Totally. He looked like a weird generic guy.
That's what I'm
I was like
saying.
kind of distracted.
Nobody knows who
You
this
think-
guy is.
I
I
don't
think he's
know.
the
I like
audience,
movies
white
when you
audience
don't know
surrogate.
He's the
Yeah.
white. Yep.
Yeah.
He's the white audience surrogate.
I mean, it would have been cool to see like a kind of more caramely person like myself.
Caramel, yeah,
Or,
yeah.
you know,
Like Hispanic.
like
maybe,
a
or,
yeah, Hispanic-ish. You know, somebody that's not that guy that looked like weirdly plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely looked like
And it's
someone
not
you'd
really
see fighting on
believable.
World Star.
Like, you know,
it's
like
believable from World Star.
yeah.
He kind of look. I don't know. Maybe I'm being mean.
I don't know.
He looked like someone from a World Star video who'd be recording, not actually fighting.
Yeah.
And his name is Dylan.
Yes. Yep, that's it. I am caramel too. Yeah, this was interesting. I mean, I certainly like see the premise. I don't think this is a new thing. They did an 8 Mile too. Basically, nobody believes this guy can rap, and then he can rap.
And then he
right?
can rap.
Yeah.
Yep. But holy mother, that's some strong ass weed.
Is he okay?
That's
unusual. Wow.
That's actually what
You need to
happened to
get
me
that
the first
checked.
time the first and last time I ever smoked weed. That
Holy
is how sick
cow.
I got, and that is why I've never smoked weed ever again.
What on
She had that
earth was
seizure
that?
on
You were a
stage.
seizure boy?
No, I didn't have seizures,
Oh.
but
Oh
but
my
I puked
God.
that much.
That's
wow.
insane.
So
Jesus
The
Christ.
first
I might
time I
be
did,
allergic.
I took a nap. I've heard of people being allergic, and
Uh-huh.
that's so crazy.
yeah, somebody
That's-
just mentioned that to me the other day. They're like, you know,
sucks.
you might be allergic. I'm like, oh,
People can
man.
be allergic to everything.
I could have been allergic to anything, peanuts, but no weed.
Listen,
I
after
guess I'll
party.
never
probably
meet
lucked
Wiz
out there,
Khalifa.
though.
I know,
Peanut
fuck.
allergy sucks.
He's made of weed, apparently. Don't shake
Yeah.
his hand, you'll sneeze.
Whatever. He divorced Amber Rose. He didn't know what he was
Yeah,
missing.
he was-
Yeah.
Don't know what you got till it's
yeah,
gone.
It's probably a skip for me.
Yeah,
I'd watch with my homies.
I'll cue it probably.
You'll cue it,
I
put
might
on your queue on your
I'll
room.
rent.
If
I'll rent.
If I was doing what Wiz Khalifa does, I'd watch this with my homies.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
That's my standard.
You know what? I am curious. Like I would watch it just to see what World Star Hip Hop
What
is
they're
trying
putting
to
out.
do.
what's
Yeah,
up.
you know. I mean that alone would I might
True.
give it a watch. So
I would watch it just to listen to the music, honestly, because it
Yeah.
sounds like
That's
it has a
actually
good
that'd be a
soundtrack.
good one. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least
yeah,
one.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
I'd
I'm
give
all
it a
about
watch.
Jadakiss.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would watch this long before I watched Nutcracker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But-
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to
Yay.
But wait, there's more.
our last of the day. It is called Spark of Greatness.
All right.
Nice.
It has Jim Carrey. So I'll
Showtime
wait.
series.
There's a spark of greatness inside each and every one of us.
Oh God, I'm afraid of kindergarten teacher.
Shut up.
In you, in me, there's a lovely light.
What's this music? It's great.
It sounds like
never go out.
the band that I like.
Oh, I know what
the
this
looping.
is. Yeah, he's like a Mr. Rogers
How
here.
did you get out of the television?
Is he like Patch Adams? But funny?
Where did you get your strength from?
You.
I love her.
Yeah. From Garfunkel and Oates, right?
Yes.
Yes, she's Garfunkel. She's one of them.
It's not a circle. It's a hole.
And when you screw a woman you just met and she doesn't call you back, it's not because her phone is broken. She doesn't like you.
Aww.
What is that?
His soundtrack, though.
Yeah.
Yep. This looks like Eternal Sunshine.
I have a tremendous amount of pent-up anger inside me. And every day it grows and grows. And I don't know where it's coming from or how to stop it. I am magma from the neck down.
Jeff, we don't have to do this today.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
It was
that
called
looks
Spark
great.
of Greatness.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
what I
okay.
did too. I think it was the name of the
The
trailer.
yeah, okay. Oh.
I really like the schizophrenic kind of trailer cutting they
It's
were
a
doing.
series.
It's a series, and like it has practical effects. You can tell it has like
Yeah.
practical
A lot.
effects,
Look
which
at
is
that, like, even
amazing.
the-
It's,
yeah. It looks
Michel Gondry. That's what I thought.
it looks so
I'm
freaking
excited.
weird,
Yeah,
but I'm
right?
into it.
What has
Of all the previews.
Michelle done?
Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine. Okay.
Spotless Mind.
Was
and,
that
Did I
Yellow
not just say
Ostrich?
that?
Yeah.
It sounded
Oh my
like was that
gosh.
Yellow Ostrich the
I don't
band?
think so.
It sounded like
A
them.
little bit,
I'm so
but
excited.
yeah, the music was great.
Definitely gave me that Eternal
If you guys
Sunshine
like
vibe.
that,
Yeah, for sure.
Loved it.
oh my gosh, Eternal Sunshine's so good. If you guys like that music, listen to the band Yellow Ostrich because it sounds like that.
They're fun. Yeah.
I'm already
I think
ready.
The Science of Sleep. I think that's a good one too. Guy Ogre Bananas in that one.
Yeah, I never
Signs
watched
of
that.
Sleep.
Really good. Yeah,
I
that's
wanted to though.
I had a similar look. I remember when
Definitely.
it came out.
It's got I think that's just Michel Gondry. So
Gotcha.
that's this is his look. That's
Weird,
his look.
sort of.
Like,
I love the
and
cast.
he does a lot of like what you were talking about practical. He does a lot of like in camera and practical things, like
Gotcha.
really weird, crazy stuff. So
Okay. Yes.
Was that puppet jerking him off?
Yes, it was.
That
There was a
kinda
lot
crazy,
happening.
guys.
I couldn't.
There was so much happening.
I didn't see that.
I'm into
That
it.
was fast. I'm into it.
There was a
I
puppet
dig
jerking
it.
him off, but
Yeah, I'm into
I'm not surprised.
You're right, though. It has a great.
Oh yeah.
Is that you? It sounds like you.
Yeah, Catherine Keener is wonderful. I love her.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, she's
This
really
guy,
great.
the cast is great.
Yeah.
Frank Langella,
Jude
Jude
Greer.
Ooh, I
Greer.
love her.
And,
She's
Yeah.
and
30.
yeah, and Jim Carrey's really been like,
I've been loving
coming
older
back.
Jim
Killing it,
Carrey.
yeah.
I've been
He's been
loving his
coming back.
non-funny stuff.
oh yeah, he's a great
I'm-
actor.
So good. And Adam Sandler. I've been loving like these comedians who are like stupid raunchy humor or whatever, like evolving into these great older actors.
Yeah.
They are truly like a fine wine.
Yep.
Or a whiskey. If I know anything about
Yep.
whiskey, I think old whiskey's good.
Sure.
We'll go with
Got
that.
me.
Yeah, they're smoky.
Smoky.
No, but this looks great.
Yeah.
It does look good. Yeah, I think
Holy
it's
cow.
interesting that
Is it schizophrenia? Like is
it kind of felt
It
schizophrenic.
they
felt like
felt
that.
like there's a mental
Could be.
illness thing.
I think so.
There's
Yeah.
some mental illness, something.
There's something.
Yeah,
there's
like
a
it almost
disconnect.
almost at the end I was like, oh, he's like an incel maybe. But then they were just talking about how you fucked
Maybe.
this girl and then you don't call her back.
And he
or-
was very emotional about it.
Yeah,
and he shaved
yeah.
his head and was in the
But it
hospital
also
already.
did seem like he was maybe like could have been like autistic maybe, or like not really autistic, but like could have had some sort of like
There was a
social
disconnect
anxiety,
between-
kind of thing.
He wasn't vibing with other people.
Yeah.
I wonder if he
Sure.
uses the puppets as a way to kind of connect,
Cope?
or
Oh.
you know, kind of like that trailer for the newest
Steve Carell movie,
where
Yeah,
he
he
uses the
uses
little action
dolls.
figures
Oh,
to connect with
what?
people and relive. I don't know.
He
Yeah.
uses it to cope with PTSD, but with this, it's
Yes.
like
I'm
probably
loving all these new movies about mental
Yeah.
illness, guys. I'm
With
so
old-
happy.
with old comedians.
With
It's
old
like
comedians.
a real thing that happens. People use these other sort of mediums as like a proxy to deal with and cope with their mental illness, and it's like
Definitely.
freaking fascinating.
I think it's so appropriate that it is old comedians. I mean, like Robin
Yeah,
Williams.
that's a good
I mean,
point.
the ratio of depressed people to comedians is high.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very high.
I
So,
just
like,
think people,
It's a prerequisite.
creatives in general,
creatives
are
in general. Oh my
depressed.
God, Oscar Wilde much like
Yeah,
I
or
had a
like
whole
Van
conversation
Gogh,
about this.
you
Yes,
know?
I think if you're creative, you're just a little sad.
Yeah,
Sure.
But I think
because
kind of-
you know how bad the world truly is.
Well, I think it's because you need to make things beautiful to feel better.
Yeah.
Well, that's the sad person in me talking. I have to make
No,
pretty
but
things to
it's
feel good.
True, yeah.
So I think it's very appropriate, and I'm loving all these like Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey, Jonah Hill apparently,
Right.
like going into these deeper roles and like really connecting with them. I think they do connect with them. I know Jim Carrey definitely connects with this role. He's
Oh,
talked
Sure.
a lot about his struggles.
Yeah,
so
he's
I'm-
been painting recently.
Yeah, and he's been speaking out and getting
He
political.
is
and
really
he's
good, by
crazy.
the
I
way.
love this guy. I love him.
Yeah.
What he's doing is great. But like I'm just liking this openness the actors are giving off. And I think there's a wave of change. Maybe this is me reading too much into everything as usual. There's a wave of change in Hollywood with the whole Me Too movement and with creative types going out of their way to really speak out. And I'm just really excited.
Trump as president, all sorts of
Yeah,
things.
and like the whole actors sing and everybody's like, why is the Oscars doing these arbitrary, stupid changes? That's dumb. Why are they not changing the rules? Why are they not appreciating really well-made superhero movies? Why are they not appreciating beautiful, well-done horror movies like Get Out? Like, I feel like there's just a wave of change in entertainment and in Hollywood.
Let's hope so.
I hope so, and I feel like, especially for our sake, you know, I feel like we're kind of a different format from the old fuddy-duddy entertainment.
Sure.
So I think today kind of made me feel positive about the direction of entertainment.
I
I'm
agree.
like,
I
yeah,
agree.
it's-
I think like you know, our entertainment is always reflective of the time period that we're in and what's happening in
Absolutely.
society.
It should be.
And it should be. And I think that like this is this show has kind of shown that like we're going in a good direction in terms of like, just like you said, just being very open to lots of different types of entertainment.
I think it's what we need.
Yeah.
As sad creative types, people don't really see the value in what we do and what we love until things like this are made. So it's very encouraging.
Very beautiful, guys.
All the
that has been a
feels.
very somber NPR episode.
This has been Thoughts for Your Thoughts.
Yeah.
Don't smoke Wiz Khalifa's weed. Because you might puke
You
and
might
have a
puke.
seizure.
There were a lot of things to learn today here
But
on
your own
Screen
weed,
Source.
that's fine.
Yes.
Or your homie's weed.
Screen Source episode 44. Thank you all for being here. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. It's always fun every week to do this. Next week will be episode 45.
Nice.
5
As
episodes
numbers
till
do.
our
As
number
numbers do.
50th.
Ooh.
Yeah, we gotta have
Which
some
we
sort
can
of
do
big
something
hoopla.
special.
Exciting.
Screen
Yeah.
Source cake or something.
We should all go to the theater and watch the Nutcracker for the big
And just like
But like
rent
Mystery
the theater
Science
and like
Theater,
just talk shit the
throw
entire movie.
popcorn.
Yeah, we
Just
got to do a
roast it.
3-hour in-depth review of that. film.
Yes.
While we're watching it.
It'll be like a
Exactly.
riff tracks.
Exactly.
for-
Like Mystery Science Theater,
Yeah.
but angry.
Yep.
And
Right.
justifiably so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we bring actual Rotten Tomatoes.
This
Or
is
great.
nuts.
Or nuts. And we crack them.
And we crack them and
Crack 'em.
throw
At the
them at the
screen.
screen.
Please take a
sounds
look at the schedule below. We are live every day here on actually twitch.tv/ColorSeeker Live. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to plug that on YouTube, but I'm doing it. Oh, no. And make sure to visit our Patreon. It says right there, Patreon, an exclamation point. It's patreon.com/ColorCircuit Live, I believe. We just launched it last weekend. Give that a look. That always helps us make more videos for you.
Yep.
Go ahead, Jess.
Oh, I was going to just mention one last thing. I did a review, was it last episode or a couple episodes back, on the show The Vintage Voyager. She watched it and liked it and is going to show some clips on her Instagram. So
Cool.
really awesome.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you,
that's cool.
Allison.
Yeah.
If you guys have a chance and you enjoy shopping and or vintage stuff, which would probably be most of the female viewers, watch the Vintage
Sexist.
Voyager on Prime. Well, actually, and I do have some males in mind that would enjoy it too. So Amazon Prime, Vintage Voyager. I thought that was really cool that she watched our review of her show.
Yeah, and if
Thank
anybody
you.
else wants us to review something that they are a part of, or if there's just a movie trailer that dropped and you're like, you know what, I'd like to see these guys talk about it, then let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
Again, subscribe here on youtube.com/Color Circuit, and like, follow, share all of the verbs. Thank you, Lexi. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Stan. My name is Dylan, and good night.
Good night.
Yay.